Live from the soccer complex on the campus of Brooklyn College, you're watching women's 2016 CUNYAC Soccer Championships right here on CSI Sportsnet. This afternoon, the College of Staten Island will look to defend their CUNYAC championship as they will take on number one seed Brooklyn College for the right to advance into the NCAA tournament with an automatic bid. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Babuski along with Dave Pizzuto and Tom Kriskowski as we're getting ready here for the College of Staten Island to defend their CUNYAC championship right here on this Brooklyn College field. The College of Staten Island got to this game by defeating Lehman College by a final score of 4-2 this Wednesday evening. Brooklyn College advanced with a 3-0 win over CCNY. And Dave, it was an exciting evening of soccer here last Wednesday night. The 1 and 2 seeds prevail, and the Dolphins advance and face Brooklyn College here for the championship.
Yeah, for Brooklyn College, they punched their ticket with a 3-0 win over CCNY. They got off to a 2-0 halftime lead and were able to, hold on and win that game by a score of 3-0. And very similarly, CSI got off to a flying start against Lehman, 3-0 at the halftime break. They end up holding on after Lehman comes back, scoring too quick in the second half, 3-2. They end up putting in an insurance tally, 4-2, on a goal by Krista Anson. Dolphins win by that same score. And Mike, for the fourth straight year, it's CSI versus Brooklyn. Twice for the finals in the past. Last year they met in the semifinals, and here they are back here for the final on Brooklyn's home turf. And
Tom, this is your first broadcast back on CSI Sportsnet since that doubleheader here last year in the 2015 CUNYAC Championships, and the Dolphins looking to repeat for the second consecutive year.
Yeah, the Dolphins will need to make sure they're sure in the back today against Brooklyn College. During the regular season, CSI gave away a foul late in the game right outside the box, and Brooklyn was able to capitalize despite only having 2 shots on goal the whole entire game.
Yeah, it was a big letdown for the Dolphins as they came into that game, Dave, undefeated in conference play, and lost that tough game by a score of 1-0 as Ute picked up that goal with just over 4 minutes remaining off of a free kick. And, it was a tough free kick call against the Dolphins, but, at times, Dave, the Dolphins have struggled to score offensively here this year, and that's something they're going to look to overcome against Brooklyn here this afternoon.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that they did very well on Wednesday, Mike, is that they seized their moments. They cashed in on those big chances, and they made the most off of Lehman mistakes. The one thing that we know about Brooklyn, Mike, is that, CSI, maybe could be the more talented team. They dominated that regular season game, but the one thing about Brooklyn that we know, Mike, is they are a very smart soccer team. They don't make a lot of mistakes, and if you're the Dolphins, you know that the 1 or 2 that they do make, if they make them, you have to cash in on those mistakes. They were able to do it against Lehman. Linda Resto, the goalkeeper for Lehman, had a very, very tough first half. She made 2 critical errors, and as a result, it led to 2 Dolphins goals. That's where the Dolphins really need to pounce. They need to make the most out of opponents' mistakes. And really, Mike, in that regular season game, Dolphins had a lot of opportunities against Brooklyn, but they made that one critical mistake. With 4 minutes left in the game, they took a bad foul at the top of the box. Usta made them pay with the free kick. It was one of only a handful of Brooklyn shots for the entire game and ended up costing the Dolphins, and that's why Brooklyn's wearing the lighter colored jerseys and the Dolphins are in their roads today.
And the CSI Dolphins coming into today's game having scored 53 goals here in the 2016 season. So they have been able to score goals at times. And the amazing thing, Tom, is that this team has allowed just 13 goals the entire season long, have only allowed more than 1 goal on 3 separate occasions. But one of those occasions was in the last game against Lehman College.
Yeah, Catherine Mulligan has done a really good job in the back line with her two freshmen and making sure they stay sure and they're not committing silly fouls that allow to, really easy goals. So it's going to be up to Catherine to really lead that back line today, make sure that the Brooklyn offense really can't get in.
And, Dave, you look at this CSI Dolphin team, and they're coming in with an 11-4-2 overall record and that 1 conference loss against Brooklyn College. But you got to really like the way the Dolphins performed this year in their non-conference schedule.
Yeah, and you know what? They didn't shy away from anybody either. They played some tough competition. They sought out some of the better teams in the New Jersey Athletic Conference, looking at teams like Montclair State, Kane University, Stockton University. They also played FDU out of conference, and really they try to set their bar high so that when you get to this point in the season, you're well seasoned. You've played against some of the better teams in the region, and hopefully this becomes just another game, even though that there's a lot more magnitude to it. So hopefully it benefits the Dolphins in a game like this, and they could walk with a little bit of a swagger coming in here, knowing that they have a very good overall record. They're 11-4-2, and even some of the games that they lost, Mike, take away that real bad loss against Montclair State 7-1. I mean, there's not a single game that you can't say the Dolphins not only could have won, but really deserved to win. That Brooklyn College game, they dominated that game for 86 minutes, ended up giving up a late goal. The game against Kane, they give up a very early goal in the game, come back and really are stride for stride with Kane the rest of the way. And the FDU game was another game that they dictated play, had a lead, and lost it late 2-1. So really, you look at this Dolphins team, for their tough schedule, they could be coming into this game with a record of 14-0-1 or something like that. It sounds strange to even say, considering how young they are, but they've played that well this season. And
Tom, let's turn our attention a little bit here to Brooklyn College. They've scored just 25 goals on this season, but they're led in goals by Victoria Ramirez. She has 8 goals on the year, but including 2 big goals in the game against CCNY in the semifinals on Wednesday night.
Yeah, look for Liliana Cabral to really make an impact on this game. She is leading the team in assists this year. She's really going to control the pace of the game and direct where the ball is going to go. She's going to look for Ramirez up top and, really try to get her going early on.
And, Dave, for all the young talent on the CSI Dolphin team, the freshman and first-year talent, a lot of senior talent on this Brooklyn College team, led, of course, by their sensational player in the back, Jasmine Furman.
Yeah, we remember Jasmine, when she first came on to this team. She really hasn't missed a step since. You add in Jordan Kerwin, another playmaker in the middle as well, can play defense, can play offense. And I think that's one of the things about this Brooklyn team. They have a lot of upperclassmen talent. They have, between 10 and 12 seniors on this team. So this is really the culmination of 4 years of hard work and 4 years of this roster coming together. And when you look at some of their best players, my players like Furman, is they're just as talented in the back than in the middle than up front. And they can lend themselves to different areas of the field at different times. And that's something different than what the Dolphins see in a lot of the other CUNY schools that they play. Brooklyn has the capability of giving them a lot of different looks, not only year to year, but game to game and half to half. They can change that look. So the Dolphins have to be very aware of that, and they're going to be tested today against a very seasoned and a very upperclassman-laden Brooklyn Bulldogs team.
And Tom, like the game against Lehman College, the Dolphins will face a senior goalkeeper this year in Samantha Rodriguez. Nicole Mignon, the freshman, playing once again, and Mignon played very well in that game against Lehman College, really outperforming Linda Resto in that game. And how do you look at the goaltending matchup today, once again, between the freshman and the senior?
I see Nicole Mignon having a big game. She has just improved throughout the season, coming in as normally a typical field player and then really having to step up and fill her role as the goalkeeper for the team. For Samantha Rodriguez for Brooklyn, she's allowed 41 goals on the year. She's averaging 2 goals a game allowed. So look for the Dolphins to really, make up for their lack of goal scoring in the last meeting and really try and pepper her with shots and make her work.
And, Dave, in the last game against Lehman College, we talked about the difficulties that the Dolphins had getting goals, especially early against some of these better opponents. Jennifer Cosenza didn't take too long putting one in 2 minutes into the game, and the Dolphins certainly looking for more of that here this afternoon.
Yeah, and I think that has to be their mentality coming in, Mike, is that, listen, pound for pound, on paper, you don't want to take anything away from CSI's opponents, but they're the better team. It's that simple. They're better up front, they're better in the middle, they're better in the back. And they have to show that early in games. They can't be the tentative. They can't pussyfoot around the net. They have to go out there. If they recognize an opportunity, they've got to put it, and they have to test the keeper. I think the one thing about CSI that really has plagued them, the one thing that you can really take away from them, as well as the CSI men's team, is that sometimes they try to be too fancy with the finishing touch. They try to put one in that top corner or they specifically try for the side of the net. You know, they just need to test Rodriguez here tonight the same way they tested Resto. You know, a couple of the misplays that Resto had, Mike, were very routine plays that any goalkeeper would make on any level, but because of the magnitude of the game, because of the situation, because of the inexperience of some of these other keepers, they just have to be simple with the ball in goal. Otherwise, I think they have to grab the bull by the horns early, attack early, put pressure early, and when they have that opening, when they have that small window, make something happen with the ball.
And as we have about 4 minutes remaining here till we get ready for the introductions and the start of this afternoon's game between the Dolphins and Brooklyn College. You know, Tom, Dave mentioned a little bit earlier, this is a rematch. These teams always seem to match up in the CUNYAC tournament. Last year, the Dolphins were successful against Brooklyn on their home field, but Brooklyn does come into today's game, Tom, with the advantage of having this CUNYAC tournament on their home pitch.
Yeah, the Dolphins, you know, they had a big 4-1 win over Lehman College, so they're comfortable on this field. You know, they have their seniors who are leading the way here, so look for them to, you know, just try and score early, Mike. I feel like the Dolphins are going to connect with Christina Rodriguez and Jennifer Cosenza up top and just look to score early. Jennifer Cosenza has 13 goals on the year. Christina Rodriguez has 13 assists on the year. So they've really been a nice dynamic duo up top.
And as we get closer to the start of this afternoon's final game between the Dolphins and the Bulldogs, why don't we step aside and take a break? You're watching the 12th Annual Women's CUNYAC Soccer Championship right here on your voice of CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-one physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android. This is awesome. You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Love is love.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
Gary, we are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free, handsome. I think breathtaking. And here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this. Is that Bran? Colleges love extracurricular activities.
Chess really isn't my thing.
I got this. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Picking a college, man. You and us. Go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
Fire and ice.
Those don't really go together.
Go to getschool.com for more info.
We're back, and we're just moments away from the start of this 2016 Women's Championship game between the College of Staten Island and Brooklyn College. The College of Staten Island coming in as the number 2 seed, but looking to defend their 2015 CUNYAC championship. So as the players get introduced on the field, let's get you the introductions here over the broadcast, and here to bring you those introductions, my broadcast partner, Dave Pizzuto. Dave?
All right, thank you, Mike. We'll start first with the Brooklyn College Bulldogs in numerical order, Mike. They'll go with goalkeeper number 1, Samantha Rodriguez. Number 2 will be Ashley Calandra. Number 3 is Kira Flynn. Number 5, Jordan Kerwin. Number 6, Olivia Ponce. Number 8, Ileana Cabral. Number 9 is Selah Flores. Number 12 is Jasmine Fermin. Number 13 is Kensu Usta. Number 14 is Victoria Ramirez. And number 19 is Leslie Gomez. The head coach for Brooklyn is Patrick Horn. And Brooklyn, of course, making their first trip to the championships in a couple of years. They were, at one point, the back-to-back defending champs. CSI Dolphins in numerical order. 0 is Nicole Mignon. She's the goalkeeper. Number 1, Rebecca Deloya. Number 2, Lauren Smith. Number 4, Stephanie Lapointe. Number 7, Victoria Sanchez. Number 12, Christina Rodriguez. Number 13, Elizabeth Aparicio. Number 16, Catherine Mulligan. Number 17, Jennifer Cosenza. Number 18, Natalia Sandor. And number 28, Adriana Perello.
So the College of Staten Island coming in as the defending CUNYAC championships. It's a warm, sunny, beautiful afternoon here for these 12th annual Women's CUNYAC championships. And Tom, as we're just moments away from the start of the afternoon's game, what are your keys for the CSI Dolphins here this afternoon?
My keys for the Dolphins, don't give up silly fouls in the back line and score early. Get this Brooklyn defense off balance, make their offense have to try and work. They haven't scored many goals in a year. The Dolphins' offense has been extremely potent. So if you put one in early, it changes the whole way Brooklyn is going to have to play the game. They're not going to be able to sit back in their 4-5-1 formation and play defensive and hope for a counterattack goal. They're actually going to have to go out there and attack.
And the College of Staten Island coming in, having scored 4 goals in that semifinal round. And that was a lot of goals for the Dolphins, Tom, and they were able to score early in that game. They got that goal by Cosenza just 2 minutes in, and then a couple of really nice goals scored by Christina Rodriguez, and that really allowed the Dolphins to get out in front and play with confidence early.
Yeah, and another thing Dolphins have is, they have Krista Anson on the bench. She is third on the team in goals. She can come on the team and instantly provide a spark for the offense if they can't find that opening goal early on.
Yeah, and the Dolphins also doing a very good job in that game against Lehman after taking that 3-0 lead. Lehman able to come back with a couple of quick goals within the first 13 minutes of the second half. But it was Anson, Tom, as you mentioned, who was able to pick up that goal and open up the lead back to 4-2. And from there, Dolphins were able to pretty much play out in front and go home with the victory.
Yeah, but like you said early on, they were up 3-0, and they allowed Lehman to come back into this game. Brooklyn is on their home field. This is nothing new to them. They've played in championship games before. They have 12 seniors on their team, so this is it for them. It's win or go home, and they're going to come out and try and put the ball in the back of the net. So they're just going to have to come out and play defensive.
Yeah, and the Dolphins did a really good job in that regular season game against Brooklyn College. Brooklyn able to score on that late goal with just over 4 minutes remaining off of that free kick off of a foul. And then in the game, in the semifinal game against Lehman as well, Tom. A couple of goals really scored off of set pieces by Lehman. So, as you mentioned, very important the Dolphins not commit those careless fouls here this afternoon.
Yeah, if this Dolphins team does have an Achilles heel, it is the set pieces. They've been scored on a lot in set pieces, and it's nothing to do with the defense. It's just sometimes Nicole Mignon can't reach those high balls that go up over her head. So that's crucial, not letting those close free kicks get in.
Yeah, and of course, in these one-and-done games, so much pressure on these players early in the game, Tom. They know that a single mistake makes such a difference. That's why it's so important that you really just come out and try to play the game the way you normally do it.
Yeah, the Dolphins are going to have to take this game, like you just said, as any other game this season. They know in the back of their heads that it's not a regular season game, but they're a young team, so this is a building team for them going forward. So this could be the start of a dynasty for the Dolphins if they're able to win this game and continue on for another 4 years.
Yeah, Dolphins really with so many young players in this lineup from the goaltender on out, and the back line has played so well, Tom, in the regular season, allowing just 11 goals throughout the entire regular season, and that included 7 against Montclair State. So this Dolphin team really has done a great job defensively here in 2016.
Yeah, and, the Dolphins' back line can score goals. We have Elizabeth Aparicio, who has a goal on the year. Same with Rebecca Deloya. They like to get forward as wingbacks. So look for them to, test the outside backs of Brooklyn. Make them choose whether to take the outside mid or the outside back, and really try and confuse them early on.
So the players have been introduced. A Brooklyn College Bulldogs spreading out on the field and getting ready for the opening touch, which it looks like they will have. They will move from right to left here in the first half. The Dolphins will move from left to right. The Dolphins coming in an outstanding regular season, 11-4-2. Brooklyn College got their record back level at 8-8-2 after their big win against CCNY here on Wednesday night. The Dolphins advanced by defeating Lehman by a final score of 4-2 as the players line up. We wait for the official to blow the whistle, and then we'll be underway. Dave, big crowd here this afternoon. Beautiful day for soccer.
Yeah, and absolutely, like you see on your screen, the Dolphins do lead the all-time series 5-3-2, but Brooklyn has had the better way of it in recent years, and that, of course, included 2 wins over CSI in postseason play as well.
So the first throw in deep inside Dolphin territory will go to Brooklyn College, as that time the ball skips off the foot of Mulligan, and Sandor will knock it out of bounds. So a couple of errors there by the Dolphins early gives Brooklyn a throw in deep inside Dolphin territory. Dolphins looking to play the ball forward. It'll be Kerwin going forward. Is Brooklyn able to head it in front? But we're going to have a whistle and flag went up, and I believe that's going to be the first offsides of the afternoon. Perello will take the free kick for the Dolphins. Adriana picked up an assist on Rodriguez's first goal in that game Wednesday evening against Lehman College. Flores trying to play it forward. The Dolphins able to deflect the ball away, and now Perello there to play it. And she'll feed it up to Sandor on the near side. Sandor, a long pass, heading over and knocked out of bounds by Furman. Jasmine's first touch of the afternoon, and it will be a throw-in now for the Dolphins. And, Furman's a name we expect to be calling a lot here this afternoon, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. She's one of the catalysts for Brooklyn, has been for some time. And, like I said, Mike, we've seen her play the back line. We've seen her play in the middle. We've seen her play up front. She's got a lot of diverse roles for this team, and a lot of what Brooklyn does funnels through Furman.
And that time Rodriguez comes out. The Bulldogs knock the ball out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in deep inside Dolphin territory. Sandor trying to play it for Cosenza. Once again, it'll be knocked out of bounds. And once again, it will be a throw-in for the Dolphins deep inside Bulldog territory.
Yeah, Mike, you can already see the Dolphins' potent offense here. Through this first 3 minutes of the game, the ball has been on the Brooklyn defense the whole time.
So Dolphins try to play forward. A nice play by Lehman to bring the ball up, as it'll be Cabral with the ball. Cabral will play it forward, but she'll draw the foul. So the first foul of the game will go on the Dolphins. It'll be a free kick for the Bulldogs, and Furman will come over and take it for the Bulldogs. Furman, a long ball right into the center, Nice play by the Dolphins that time to cut the ball out, as that was the lawyer cutting the ball out for the Dolphins. And, you know, Dave, we mentioned Rebecca's name a lot for the Dolphins. Is now they try to play it through to Rodriguez. Rodriguez has the ball cut away by Furman, and it'll be played back defensively now by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that time it was the 2-12s going stride for stride there. Rodriguez for the Dolphins and Furman for the Bulldogs, and Furman's able to dish that one away from her back line.
Sandor plays it over to LaPointe. Now it's going to be played forward by Aparicio onto the foot of Cosenza, but just a little bit too far. And it's going to be played away now, and it'll be the Dolphins, Sanchez with the ball. Sanchez looking for Cosenza. Nice play by Brooklyn to knock it away, but it's going to be played there by LaPointe. A pass forward, once again, knocked away by the Bulldogs, but it'll be Sandor. Sandor fighting for possession that time with Cabral, but it'll be knocked out of, actually played inbound, and the Bulldogs will come out with it. It'll be Cabral once again. Nice pass into the center of the field, but a better play by the Dolphins as Smith has it. As we played just about 3.5 minutes here in the first half, Tom, both teams kind of feeling each other out.
Yeah, the Dolphins are, trying to play the kick and run game, but, with Jasmine Furman back there, that's not really going to work. They're going to have to try and get Jasmine to move to a side of the field and then switch it, play a diagonal ball into the corner, try, get her away from the ball to really use the Dolphins' speed.
So the Dolphins throw the ball in as it goes into Rodriguez on the far side of the field. She turns and tries to put it in front towards Sandor, but the Bulldog defense will be there to knock the ball away as Utsa plays it, but not out. As it comes back in, Rodriguez trying for possession once again, as it'll roll back, and the Dolphins will try to play the ball in midfield, but the Bulldogs will come away with it, and now will try to set up the offense. Sanchez on the far side of the field can't maintain possession. And, Dave, we've seen the Dolphins at times look very crisp with their internal passing, not able to put very many passes together here through the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, and really neither team is able to string together multiple passes, especially right here at the midfield line. We've seen a lot of balls try and go over top of the defense or, try to use the long ball to their advantage into the corners. But, the short 5-10-yard passes at midfield is really not working for either side at this point.
So Furman's going to put a long ball into the center of the box, and it's the second time Brooklyn has tried that play, once from either side of the field, playing the ball right into the center, Tom, and then trying to farm it out to the wing.
Yeah, that's that young defense right there at work. They're really, winning those balls in the air and make sure that Nicole Mignon doesn't really have to go one-on-one with a Brooklyn forward.
Ball's going to be played out of bounds, and now it'll be the Dolphins' turn to throw the ball in. Neither team really with a good scoring chance yet. No score here in this 2016 championship game. Both teams fighting for the right to play in the 2016 Division III NCAA tournament.
And, Mike, you mentioned scoring chances. Fans shouldn't expect too many. Last 5 games between these two teams, only been 3 goals scored. We're talking about almost 500 minutes of soccer because 2 of those games were 0-0 draws in regular season that ended up as ties. But only 3 goals in the last 5 games between these two sides, and 1 goal has won it 3 times. So, fans shouldn't expect to see the type of offensive game that CSI played against Lehman.
Nice play by Smith to come away with the takeaway as Rodriguez is knocked down right in the center of the penalty area, and this is going to be a big opportunity for the Dolphins, really, in about the place where Brooklyn College scored the lone goal of the game in their regular season matchup.
Yeah, and Christina Rodriguez is stepping over this ball. She has a huge leg, and she has scored from this distance early throughout the season. So look for her to put this on net and try and either put it in the back of the net or have one of her teammates get the rebound.
And that's the key. It has to test Rodriguez, Tom.
So Rodriguez really the only Dolphin there, so it does look like she'll take the kick here for the Dolphins. Brooklyn with 5 players in the wall. 1 Dolphin joins them. And the point kind of angling over to the side. As the whistle blows, here we go, as Rodriguez takes the free kick and shanks the ball wide. And first opportunity for the Dolphins, Dave, but they don't take a very good shot at it at that time.
Yeah, and we talked about it in the pregame how, chances and opportunities, they become less and less the further you advance into the playoffs, and that's one that the Dolphins might look back on and say, wow, we had a golden opportunity there to really test the keep her honest back there, and that one just kind of slid harmlessly out of bounds. Rodriguez didn't get any sort of that she really wanted to.
So it's going to be Brooklyn now as Cabral has the ball. Cabral looking to work against Sandor. Cabral breaking down the near side of the field, showing a good amount of speed as Pirello comes over to cut her off. And the ball's going to roll out of bounds, and it's going to be a free kick opportunity here for the Dolphins. With 37 minutes, 15 seconds remaining, scoreless first half, no score, no shots. Dolphins, Bulldogs. Rodriguez playing the ball in midfield. A nice play by Furman to knock the ball away. But Brooklyn's play forward is going to be knocked away, and both teams will fight for possession now. On the Dolphin side of the field is Pirello able to step forward and take the throw-in. Cosenza has the ball knocked away, and now Brooklyn looks to build up their counterattack once again. But a nice play by Smith to come back and play the ball for the Dolphins.
Yeah, Lauren Smith won Rookie of the Year last season, so look for her to, make another impact in this game. Last year she was the catalyst and the offensive creator last season, so look for her to, try and send that final through ball to get past Jasmine.
At that time, Rodriguez tried to pass Furman. She couldn't, and here comes Jasmine on the attack. Brooklyn bringing the ball up the far side of the field as they try to play the ball forward. The Dolphins able to knock the ball away as it goes out onto the far side where Candelera will play it. But a nice play that time defensively by Sanchez for the Dolphins. Now the Dolphins coming out with speed on the counterattack as they play the ball forward for Rodriguez, but too far. And that time Flynn will come forward to knock the ball away and out of bounds.
But that's been the common theme with the Dolphins' attack so far, Mike, is they're looking for those long through balls played on the ground, and that forces the Brooklyn defense to have to sprint back. And, that's easy to do 10 minutes into a contest, but if the Dolphins can continue this sort of aggressive style and force the Brooklyn back line to have to sprint back time and time again, towards the later part of this game, that could pay dividends for the Dolphins because they'll start to win some of those foot races.
Ball skied up high in the air and out of bounds. So once again, it will be the Dolphins. But I think there might have been a foul called on the play. So now an opportunity for the Dolphins to kick the ball in and try to put the ball towards goal. Rodriguez, a long kick into the penalty area. It's headed forward, but we're going to have a whistle and a foul call that time on the Dolphins. So the Dolphins got the ball towards goal that time, Dave, but a foul called on the play.
Yeah, fouls are now 2 apiece so far here in the early going, and we saw how important those set pieces were, Mike, in the Dolphins' semifinal game against Lehman. They led to a few goals as well, so those set pieces from in close will be tough. That time the Dolphins guilty of a foul.
Calandra on the far side of the field knocks the ball out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in once again for the Dolphins.
Jasmine Furman likes to, roam around the field. So when she pushes forward like she did a couple of minutes ago, the Dolphins really have to capitalize. Because without her back there, the Dolphins can really use their advantage at speed up top to get past the back line and get through on goal.
It's Furman playing the ball forward as Brooklyn tries to attack once again. They play the ball forward to Utsa, but the Dolphins there to knock the ball away defensively, but they can't clear as Brooklyn once again tries to play it in. Deloya, a nice play. She's going to be knocked down on the play, and that time it'll be a foul on Brooklyn College. Played just over 11 minutes here in this first half. No score as the Dolphins take the free kick. Rodriguez playing the ball in midfield, working against Calandra, but the ball's going to be knocked away. And, so far, Dave, Brooklyn's playing very well in the midfield.
Yeah, and like we said in the pregame, the one thing that we can give Brooklyn is they are a very smart team. They do not beat themselves. They tend not to. And so, they're going to play a very safe game here. And in the midfield, that's exactly the way they've played. A lot of east-west stuff, not a lot of north-south.
Mulligan passing the ball forward as it's going to get played now by Cosenza. Cosenza with a little bit of space on the near side, but a nice defensive play that time by Ponce to come over and shut it down.
Yeah, nice job of dispossessing Cosenza on that last run.
Pirello, a high ball looking for Smith. Furman coming over to play the ball away to herself and bring it out to the side. That was a very nice defensive play that time, Tom, by Furman.
Yeah, Furman's playing very deep as like a sweeper role. So that ball over the top, you're only going to win it if Furman is out of position.
Sandor, a nice job to take the ball away. She feeds it over to Cosenza. Ball's going to be played back into the center of the field where Cosenza is there to play it. But Brooklyn is there to head the ball forward and now knock it back to midfield where Pirello plays it. Pirello skying it for Rodriguez. It's going to be knocked away out on the far side, and Calandro will be there to play it for the Bulldogs. LaPointe playing the ball forward, but nothing there but Bulldogs as Rodriguez is going to play up the ball now for Brooklyn College. Neither team really getting much of an opportunity. Both teams playing it pretty close to the vest here, Dave, as you would expect.
Yeah, absolutely, and they know the way this series has played out, too. They know that one goal, one mistake can cost you a game like this in a championship. So safety first, both teams not taking the big risks.
As Rodriguez had an opportunity there, but she knocked the ball a little bit too far ahead of herself, and the ball will be played there by Rodriguez. That time I think Rodriguez was a little bit surprised that ball got through, and then the ball just got played too far ahead.
Yeah, it didn't look like she knew what she wanted to do with it, whether she wanted to turn around and shoot, reverse possession, or dish off. But she had a little bit of space in. If she could have gotten that ball calmed down on her boot, she could have done something with it.
As now it's going to be Sanchez with the ball. Sanchez over to Smith. Smith trying to feed the ball forward is Cosenza going for the ball along with Ponce, and Ponce is there to play it, but she'll play it out of bounds, and that'll give a throw-in to the Dolphins. And, you know, Tom, one thing you continuously see from Brooklyn is they don't take any chances, any feel of pressure, any feel of imbalance on the defense. They like to play the ball out to the sideline.
Yeah, absolutely not. They don't want to, like you said, they don't want to take any chances. They just want to get the ball out and limit the chances.
As a big shot over the top that time, a beautiful shot. As that one just over the crossbar, and a big shot opportunity that time for the Dolphins.
Yeah, that one was from deep out. And like I was saying before, that beautiful shot just went over the crossbar. You know, the Brooklyn defense is going to play it safe. This is a championship game. They're seniors. They don't want to give up a silly goal. So they're going to play safe, play the simple ball. They're not going to try and do any tricks or anything in the back line.
Yeah, so LaPointe gets a beautiful shot on towards goal that time, but just over the top is now it's Smith with a little bit of space. Smith trying to play it forward, but Brooklyn able to play it out over to the near sideline. As Cabral plays it, it will go out of bounds, and this time will be a throw-in for Brooklyn College. Brooklyn trying to throw it in on the near sideline, but Smith there to steal. Smith feeding it back to Pirello. Pirello over to Rodriguez. She tried to head the ball forward for Rodriguez, but it'll be Samantha Rodriguez to play the ball for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that just looked like a little miscommunication there on the Dolphins' offense. Christina Rodriguez headed the ball through. Had Jennifer Cosenza read that play, she would have been on goal and potentially put the Dolphins up 1-0.
Pirello now with the ball for the Dolphins. She's going to swing the ball down the near sidelines, but nothing there but Ponce for Brooklyn College. Ponce out onto the near sideline, feeding it up to midfield. A nice play there over to Utsa. But the ball's going to go out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in for the Dolphins as Sandor looks to throw the ball in quickly to Cosenza. She turns and plays the ball towards Rodriguez, but Brooklyn there to play the ball away out to the sidelines and out of bounds once again.
And for Brooklyn's lack of offense, Mike, this is a good start for them, too, because remember, in CSI's semifinal game, 15 minutes in, they were almost on their way to a 3-0 lead. They had scored 2 by then.
Cosenza shoots that one towards goal, and boy, oh boy, that sure looked like a handball from here. Nothing called by the official, and it'll just be a throw-in instead for the Dolphins.
Well, it was inadvertent for sure, but it did look like it caught most of the forearm that time of the Brooklyn College defense.
Yeah, that was Jasmine Furman who got a lot of hand on that ball, and now it's Smith. Smith stepping into the box. She feeds it across. She was looking that time for Sanchez, but Brooklyn able to knock it away. But now the Dolphins regain as it's DeLoya. It's going to go out of bounds, and once again, it'll be a throw-in for the Dolphins.
You know, one thing about a game where you're controlling most of possession in the final third of the opposing team, your defense has to make sure they don't get put to sleep. Like, this is a game that your defense could be lulled to sleep since they're not being active. So, you know, they just got to stay on their toes, make sure they're getting the ball, their touches in throughout the game. You know, give them a pass every now and then, make sure they're still on their toes.
So it's going to be a free kick here as Rodriguez will take it as she skies one high toward the Brooklyn net, and Furman heads it out in towards the top of the 18-yard line, but not out. Now it's going to be played by Sanchez. She wields and puts that one towards goal, but it'll be wide past the far post. So another shot, Dave, but they can't get the shot on net.
Yeah, good attempt that time, though, by Sanchez getting into that one and, giving it a go. And, a nice, all set up by that nice ball deep in the box that Furman was able to get out, via the head. But, Furman's been very, very active on that back line for Brooklyn, stepping up. A huge role for her tonight, or today, I should say. And so far, she's responding to the call.
The ball's going to be played in towards the center of the field, and now it's going to be Perello out on the near side for the Dolphins. Now it's Smith. Smith trying to get the ball to Sandor, but it's Furman to step forward and knock the ball away and play the ball for Brooklyn. And it'll be out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in now for Brooklyn College. Furman stolen away by LaPointe. A pass ends up hitting Smith. And now Perello's going to step back to knock the ball forward. But it's going to be played out now by Flynn out over the near sideline. And another throw-in here for the Dolphins. Sandor skies the ball up high in the air. Rodriguez waiting for it to come down. Brooklyn able to come away with the ball momentarily, but now it's Rodriguez. Rodriguez turns and kind of just drifts that one towards goal there, Dave, and Rodriguez able to make the easy play on it.
Yeah, but a little bit more sustained pressure now for the Dolphins. You can see from the graphic on your screen, they lead the shot count 3-0. And, Mike, they led the shot count during the regular season game 18-2. So things are starting to
as the Dolphins now back defensively. Nice play here by Brooklyn as we're going to have a whistle on the play, though, and the Bulldogs bring the ball out of bounds. So it's going to be the Dolphins to throw the ball in. The clock continuing to run. We're almost 20 minutes into this first half. No score. Dolphins Bulldogs 2016 CUNYAC Women's Soccer Championship right here in Brooklyn College.
Yeah, Stephanie LaPointe and Lauren Smith are really starting to find the holes in the Brooklyn back line. They're starting to find those balls through, and hopefully they can find one that'll reach the foot of one of their teammates.
And for the first time in a few minutes, it's going to be a throw-in for Brooklyn deep inside Dolphin territory. Brooklyn getting the ball in, trying to turn the ball towards goal, and it's going to roll out of bounds. And the first corner kick of the afternoon, Dave, will go to Brooklyn College.
Yeah, and these set pieces are very important, especially in a game where you haven't had a lot of possession so far. We're 20 minutes in. This is the first time we've seen Brooklyn with sustained time in CSI zone, and now they're going to get a scoring chance opportunity out of it. So very important that they are able to cash in here.
So here comes Brooklyn with the corner. As they're going to take it from the far side of the field. A nice ball right into the center of the goal, but the Dolphins able to play the ball back up over the 18 and force Brooklyn College to reset once again.
That was a good play by Nicole Mignon, coming out, taking the game in her own hands and punching that away.
Yeah, that ball had danger written all over it that time, and a nice play by Mignon in this 0-0 game to step forward and knock the ball away as we're going to have a whistle, and it looks like we're going to have our first set of substitutes here in the afternoon.
Yep, Krista Anton has come in. I believe Caitlin Russo is going to come in as well.
And number 25, Caitlin Russo.
So Dolphins make a pair of substitutions. Sanchez is out.
So Russo will come in. Anson scored the fourth goal in the Dolphin win against Lehman College on Wednesday night and really add some speed and physical presence, Dave, to this Dolphin lineup.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, Anson and Cosenza are two different players. They both have speed on them, but Krista Anson's a little bit more physical player and likes to play in the middle of the field, whereas Cosenza will like to, come from the line out wide and push in center.
That time Flynn called for a pretty hard foul against Rodriguez, and now it'll be Christina to step forward and take the free kick. As we're going to have a whistle on the play and have a little bit of a break in the action as the referee goes over to speak to the CSI head coach. And when play resumes, it'll be Christina Rodriguez to take the free kick. 22 minutes, 51 seconds remaining here in the first half. Scoreless, Dolphins and Bulldogs. And here comes Rodriguez. She skies one high up towards goal, and Rodriguez has to go up high, but able to make the play on the ball, and most importantly, Tom, hold on to it.
Yeah, the first two free kicks that we've had with Christina Rodriguez on it, she put the ball in, hoping her teammate can get ahead on it. This time, she opts to go for goal and nearly puts one upper 90.
As Furman looks to play the ball forward, she does, but Mulligan there to play it for the Dolphins and feed it over to Aparicio. Aparicio's pass up the near sideline is going to be headed there twice by Smith, but played by Ponce. Ponce tries to get past LaPointe. She can, and now we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on Ponce. So Perillo will come forward. She'll take the free kick here for the Dolphins. Beautiful afternoon for soccer here at Brooklyn College as Perillo skying that one up in towards the center. Furman heading the ball up in the air. Both teams fighting for possession, and the Dolphins able to regain and send the ball down the near sideline. Brooklyn playing the ball out of bounds, and Smith will hand the ball off to Anson for the Dolphins. So Anson will throw the ball in as she skies the ball high, looking for Rodriguez. The ball goes up over her head. Bounces a couple of times, but nothing but Bulldogs there, and the Dolphins will once again get a throw in deep inside Brooklyn territory.
And now that Anson in the game, that adds another dynamic. She has a long throw in that kind of acts like a corner kick.
So Anson gets that long throw in, looking for Rodriguez. Now plays on both teams come together, and it'll be another throw in here deep inside Brooklyn territory. And Brooklyn doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like Brooklyn minds giving up these throw-ins deep inside their own territory.
No, these resets allows them to also reset their defensive position as well, get all the white jerseys that they need to come into the box. They match up well. Like we keep going back to, Mike, we keep saying it over and over, Brooklyn, a very, very smart soccer side, and that's how they win games. They put themselves in good positions. Their players, are never left in vulnerable positions. And here's another opportunity where they're going to have to step up and play a corner kick here. Dolphins have another chance.
Nice play by Anson to knock that ball off Furman and get the corner kick. The Dolphins scored their second goal of the game against Lehman off of a Perillo corner kick as Perillo steps forward and takes it and puts it right in front. But Furman is there to head the ball away once again. And, Tom, you really can't overrate what a weapon Jasmine Furman is for Brooklyn College.
Yeah, she's a tall tree in that back line, so she's going to win most of the headers. But that ball front post, that corner kick, was beauty, and the Dolphins really should have gotten ahead on that and put it towards goal.
So it's going to be a free kick coming up here for Brooklyn College as the clock continues to wind here in the first half. 19 minutes, 40 seconds remaining, as the free kick will roll out of bounds, and it will be a throw-in here for the Dolphins. Perillo throws it into Sandor, but she'll knock it out of bounds, and now it'll be Brooklyn to throw the ball in. Utsa, the goal scorer in the game against the Dolphins in the regular season, as the ball is going to be played to Anson. She feeds it up over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez trying to get past a couple of Brooklyn defenders, and now it's going to be Smith with the ball. Smith, a nice feed looking through, is breaking in and putting the ball in for the goal. The College of Staten Island, Caitlin Russo, able to put the ball in and beat Samantha Rodriguez, and the College of Staten Island takes a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and like I said just a couple of minutes ago, Lauren Smith and Stephanie LaPointe were really starting to break down that Brooklyn back line, and sure enough, Lauren Smith dribbles from right to left, finds her spot. Caitlin Russo makes a beautiful run behind the defense, and Lauren Smith slots one right through, and Caitlin Russo buries it near post to put the Dolphins up 1-0 in this championship game.
And Dave, she couldn't have timed that pass through any more perfectly. And for Caitlin Russo, Dave, the junior player, her second goal of the year couldn't come at a more opportune time.
Yeah, gorgeous goal from a sharp angle. And Mike, here comes another break here for CSI.
Here comes Anson looking to break in the box, and the shot, and a beautiful save by Rodriguez. And Brooklyn College's championship hopes just might have been saved, Dave.
That was a nice save by Rodriguez. Anson might have looked to go a little bit more in the corner that time, far post, but a great break right there off of the restart by the Dolphins. They almost got themselves doubled their lead.
As here comes Anson, and once again, and Furman there to knock it away, and we'll have a whistle, and that'll be a foul on the Dolphins. And, Dave, just to get back to that goal for a minute, we were talking a little bit before the Lehman College game. Dolphins struggling to score those pretty goals. A couple of pretty goals in the last couple of games here for CSI.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Mike, that first goal, she won't get credit for an assist, but Christina Rodriguez started the play. She was able to get Kerwin. She muscled her off of the ball defensively. She was able to shuffle the ball over to Lauren Smith, who made the gorgeous feeder over to Russo. But, even though it won't show up in the box score, Mike, Christina Rodriguez makes another sensational play, the freshman who leads the Dolphins in assists this season.
And Tom, the Dolphins, who have scored goals and have scored a lot of goals this year, only the second goal for Caitlin Russo, but she looked like a seasoned goal scorer on that play, really taking her time and making sure to put it right in the back of the net.
Yeah, absolutely. She made her head coach look like a genius there with that sub. She comes in and just 2 minutes later finds the back of the net.
As now the Dolphins look to play the ball back towards midfield, as now they're going to play the ball through, looking for Anson once again, looking to work against Furman, and now Anson able to turn the ball in towards the center, and a little bit more pressure on Furman now, Dave, as Anson comes in fresh off the bench and really gives Furman another play to worry about in the back.
Yeah, and at some point, obviously it's still very early in the game, but Brooklyn has to make now a decision on how they want to play tactically for the rest of the way, because now, you could play all the great defense that you want, but you're still going to have to score at least one goal to send it to overtime and 2 to win at this point. So, as strategic as Brooklyn has been defensively, at some point they're going to have to throw some numbers up front to try and get this game equalized.
And now it's going to be Brooklyn College looking to come back and counterattack here as they have a little bit of space to operate as the ball's going to be played in. But once again, DeLoya will let the ball roll through, and Mignon will make a nice short-handed play on it for the Dolphins.
Yeah, and that was good communication there with the Dolphins back line. Mignon in good position, was able to attack that ball. Same wavelength as her defensive line there that didn't play the ball and opted to let Mignon play it.
As that time Rodriguez tried to go for the steal and break through, but a nice play defensively for Brooklyn College. But the ball will be rolled out of bounds over the far sideline, and it will be the throw-in here for the Dolphins with 15 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. And Tom, Brooklyn College still looking for their first official shot of the afternoon.
Yeah, like I said in the pre-show, Mike, once the Dolphins score, the whole defensive formation that the Bulldogs are playing, they're really going to have to change it up their game plan now. They're going to have to start pushing numbers forward, which will effectively give the Dolphins more chances.
So now it's going to be the Dolphins trying to play the ball out, but it'll be knocked out of bounds by Brooklyn College, and it will be another throw-in for the Dolphins. And, Dave, we mentioned how well the Dolphins played defensively, I should say, throughout the whole season, and you felt really good when they took that big lead in the game against Lehman College. They did allow a couple of goals in that game, but once again, you got to feel good the way this team plays defense with a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, you know what? When you do the math, you see that Mignon has had such a great season defensively as a goalkeeper, but she's only made 31 saves the entire season, and that's through 15 games. So you do the math, you obviously see that she's averaging only 2 saves per game, and it's really a product of that great defensive line in front of her.
DiStefano, who's checked into the game, plays the ball now. LaPointe, Sandor, and Sandor will roll the ball up the near sideline, as it'll be a pair of threes. Flynn and Anson going for the ball, and we're going to have a whistle, and the ball will be placed down, and once again, I think we'll have a foul on Anson for the Dolphins.
There's that physicality that Anson brings to the game.
So a free kick now for Brooklyn College as Furman's going to play the ball up the near sideline. Brooklyn looking to play the ball into the center of the field, and now it's going to be Furman looking to play the ball forward, and LaPointe will get the ball now to Anson. Anson back now to Sandor. Sandor looking to play the ball into the center. She was looking for Russo once again, but the ball's going to bounce now to Anson. Smith rolling the ball back to Sandor. Sandor stepping inside one Bulldog defender, and now it's going to be LaPointe. LaPointe looking for Rodriguez. Rodriguez trying to step inside, but LaPointe's going to have to play the ball after Brooklyn knocks it away. Pass is going to be played out into midfield, but once again, the Dolphins there to play the ball forward and get the ball back out over to Smith. Smith back up over to DiStefano. And now Smith, and she'll just roll that one towards goal, and Rodriguez will be able to play it easily now for Brooklyn. So, Dave, since the Dolphins scored that goal, really not many chances for either team.
No, but the Dolphins, of course, what matters now is making sure that they're stout defensively and in the midfield, and that they could do things like this. As soon as Brooklyn starts to reset offensively, just dump it right back onto their side, force them to start over, force them to, to win these 50-50 balls.
As the ball goes over the head of both players, and DiStefano steps forward to play the ball and chip it down onto the near sideline, looking for Anson once again. And, Dave, since Anson's come into the game, she's drawn a corner kick and really puts a lot of pressure on Brooklyn's defense.
Yeah, not allowing that defense to get comfortable back there, making sure they have to make up a lot of ground and a lot of green.
Anson, a long throw in as Furman is there to head the ball away, and now the ball's going to be skied up toward the end line. A nice play by Rodriguez to keep the ball in, and now Anson chipping that ball towards goal, but it'll go over the top, and it will be a free kick now for Brooklyn College.
It's another play where Rodriguez, continues that play. She's just a playmaker, keeps that ball in play. It's able to get back to Anson. She's able to try to chip it over. Rodriguez does so, but of course it's out of play. But another nice job there by Christina Rodriguez, not allowing that ball to get out of play.
Furman playing the ball up the far sideline as both teams fighting for possession, and it's Russo coming away with the ball for the Dolphins. Russo looking to feed it to Rodriguez, but Furman will be there to play the ball away and knock it out of bounds. So the Dolphins will have another throw-in deep inside Bulldog territory. Once again, Rodriguez putting the pressure on Furman, and Furman playing the ball out of bounds.
And again, Mike, it's been a good now 4, 5, 6 minutes since Brooklyn's had the ball on CSI's end of the field.
Anson, the long throw in as the ball bounces past a couple of plays, and now it's going to be knocked out to the far sideline, and we're going to have a whistle, and it's going to be a foul called on the Dolphins. So it'll be a free kick now for Brooklyn College. Clock continues to roll, 11:05 remaining here in this first half. Caitlin Russo, her second goal of the year, give the Dolphins a 1-0 lead here in this 2016 Women's CUNYAC Championship game right here at Brooklyn College.
Mike, with the insertion of Krista Anson, like I said earlier, Cosenza likes to play out wide, so that doesn't make Jasmine move around. She can stay home and not have to worry about anyone. With Anson in the game, Anson likes to stay central, so Furman has to keep an eye on her at all times, which frees up other players to get open, whereas with Cosenza on the field, she can pick up the through ball.
So now Brooklyn will run in and throw the ball in, and the Dolphins will knock it out. So Brooklyn will get a throw in, Dave. Haven't been over the Dolphins' midfield line in a while, but now looking to attack.
Yeah, no real established possession. Again, it's been plays like this, and, one time it led to a Brooklyn corner, but for the most part, it's been just, 1 or 2 entry passes and then hope for the best. Brooklyn really hasn't had that sustained pressure in the Dolphins' end, and they really haven't been able to string together more than a pass or two inside of Dolphins territory.
So it'll be a free kick coming up here for the Dolphins as Brooklyn has an opportunity to play it as Flores misses the ball, and now we're going to have a whistle, and this will be a foul on Rodriguez. And, an opportunity here, Tom, for Brooklyn to put the ball right toward the top of the 18.
Yeah, they had the opportunity to do that, and they send one in now. But, the Dolphins' back line knows how Brooklyn's going to play it. They're going to try and play that ball over the top, and they've been ready for it all game.
So here comes Brooklyn looking to attack as DiStefano fighting for possession along with Lynch, and the ball will roll out of the bounds, but this time it'll be a free kick for the Dolphins.
Yeah, the Dolphins will use this goal kick to really try and play out wide and start an attack going forward. Also, having a quiet game is Stephanie LaPointe. You know, playing in that holding defensive mid role, you don't get a lot of the credit, the headlines, and whatnot. But she is playing a superb defensive game, setting up plays that lead to goals and offensive opportunities.
Brooklyn now looking to put a little pressure on the Dolphin defense as it's Flores rolling it out on the far side over to Calandra. Calandra losing possession once again, and once again a nice play by Caitlin Russo there, Dave.
Yeah, she is able to get it over. Now let's see if the Dolphins could develop a chance out of this.
As Anson looking to make a run on the ball, but Rodriguez able to make a play on it. But nice defensive play that time, Dave, by the Dolphins.
Yeah, a nice play to start that, and Brooklyn doing well to get back and interrupt the play. But that's the risk you're going to run if you're the Bulldogs now down 1-0. You have to throw some offense on one side of the field, and that'll lead to opportunities the other way as the Dolphins now building up some pressure.
And as that time Smith looked for Rodriguez, good idea that time, but the pass just a little high. And Rodriguez will play the free kick away for the Bulldogs. But now it's Sandor. She'll wing that one towards goal, and Rodriguez will just allow it to go out of bounds as we're under 8 minutes remaining here in the first half. Big first half goal by Caitlin Russo, giving the Dolphins a 1-0 lead. So, Dave, the Dolphins got the first goal in the semifinal game and the first goal here in the finals.
Yeah, and they first goal against Brooklyn this season as well. Remember, they fell 1-0 in the regular season meeting.
Smith with the ball for the Dolphins. Now playing it out to Sandor. Sandor becoming a fixture in the starting lineup here. Now Rodriguez with a little bit of space, but a beautiful sliding tackle. That time by Furman. And, that time Tom Rodriguez got the ball just a little bit too far ahead. Just gave Furman enough time to recover.
Yeah, Rodriguez had a beautiful turn there. Set herself up for the attack, but here came Furman, beautiful slide tackle, made sure to get the ball and not the player.
And now it's Ramirez looking to counterattack quickly for Brooklyn, and the ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. So Dolphins with an opportunity there, but Brooklyn looking to counter quickly here. The ball's going to go out of bounds, but this time it'll be a throw-in for the Dolphins. Brooklyn looking to put a little pressure on as the ball's going to be played back, and a nice defensive play by the Dolphins to knock that one away as Brooklyn starting to press forward a little bit here, put a little pressure on the Dolphins as now that's Furman. Furman rolling the ball forward, but a nice defensive play by the Dolphins to knock it away but not out as now Calandra will knock it in toward the penalty area of the Dolphins. But once again, the Dolphins will slide and knock the ball away but not out. Ponce. A long ball up the near side. She's looking to get the ball to Lynch. Ball's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be a throw-in here for Brooklyn College. But, Dave, the last couple of attacks here, Brooklyn getting a little deeper into Dolphin territory.
Yeah, and what they're doing well, Brooklyn is, Mike, is that when they're deciding to play the ball in short passes, 3 and 5 yard passes to gain real estate up the field is where they have more success. It just seems to me like Brooklyn is being a little bit too impatient at times. They'll string together that first or second pass, but then they're forcing that third or fourth pass to go over the defensive line of the Dolphins. They want to catch them sleeping back there. It just hasn't worked so far for Brooklyn, but they're starting to have a little bit of success in the midfield passing, 3, 5, 8 yard passes down the field.
As Brooklyn now looking to press forward a little bit more here with just over 5 minutes, 15 seconds remaining here in the first half. And the Dolphins leading this game by a score of 1-0 as the ball once again will be played out over the far sideline and be a throw-in here for the Dolphins.
Yeah, Dave, Brooklyn's offensive prowess now in the game can really be attributed to their change of game style. When the game started with the game tied at 0-0, they were really playing a flat 4 with Jasmine running around in the back. Now, Kiara is moving forward, leaving just 3 in the back.
As once again, the Bulldogs will knock the ball out of bounds, so the Dolphins with another opportunity here to throw the ball in as they have a 1-0 lead here in this 2016 CUNY Finals Women's Championship game. Dolphins looking to defend their 2015 CUNYAC championship. And, You know, Dave, the Dolphins, no stranger to the CUNYAC championship final game on the women's side.
No, that win against Lehman on Wednesday, that was their 7th straight semifinal victory.
And here we go. It's a header nearly misplayed, but a nice play by Mignon. I'm sorry, Dave, to make the play.
Not a problem. Mignon had a double back. She was attacking that ball and then saw it go off the head of, I believe it was Aparicio who made the play, and Mignon had a double back and get it. But I was saying, Mike, that the Dolphins 7-0 in CUNY semifinal games, and they've been no strangers here to this game.
As Furman with an opportunity to put that shot towards goal, and you know you could see Brooklyn building towards that shot at that time, Tom. And fortunately for the Dolphins, Furman puts it over the net.
Yeah, that was the first shot of the game for the Brooklyn Bulldogs, and it went wide. You know, CSI has a lead 8-1 in shots in this game.
So 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in the first half. And the Dolphins leading by a score 1-0, but Brooklyn starting to press forward and getting a little bit more of an offensive attack going here in the last couple of minutes. As now the Dolphins will play the ball back to Smith. Smith, long high ball headed back by Furman. And now it's going to be Sandor who falls over Furman, and the Dolphins play the ball forward. As once again, Furman able to knock the ball away. As each team trading possessions on each pass, as the ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. And it will be a throw-in here for the Dolphins. LaPointe gets the ball up over to Sandor. Sandor rolling the ball up the near sideline, but no one there that time for the Dolphins. And Dave, the Dolphins' offensive pressure has slowed down a little bit here over the last few minutes.
Yeah, but you know, Mike, with just 2.5 minutes to play here in the first half, a very quick moving first half, not a lot of stops.
As Anson will roll the ball forward, but Rodriguez can't get there before Samantha Rodriguez plays it for Brooklyn.
Yeah, that was a great idea there by Anson. You know, if she plays that just a little bit further out to the corner flag, that reaches Rodriguez, who's one-on-one with Rodriguez.
LaPointe putting the ball forward. Furman there to play the ball, and here comes Furman for Brooklyn College with some space. Furman looking to work against Aparicio. Furman steps past Aparicio, now plays the ball out over on the far side of the field over to Ramirez. Ramirez has the ball knocked out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Brooklyn College, but a nice defensive play that time, Dave, to slow down the attacking Jasmine Furman.
Yeah, and Furman now retreating closer to the midfield, but she makes that offensive thrust happen, Mike, with that with the ability to dribble on her feet down the pitch, and now with a minute and a half remaining in the first half, Brooklyn here with some sustained pressure.
Big 90 seconds remaining and a big ball into the center of the box. Furman looking to get forward on it. She's able to get there and head it towards goal, but Mignon makes the save, and Furman able to get the head on that one, Tom, but not much on it, and Mignon made the save.
Yeah, and Mignon showed that she knows what she's doing back there. She, instead of making, you know, like a rookie mistake and coming out for a ball that she may not potentially win, she sat back and waited for the header to just roll right to her.
1 minute remaining here in the first half, with the Dolphins leading by a score of 1-0 as Anson plays that ball to Sandor. Sandor's pass is going to be knocked away, but she's able to retrieve it once again and make a nice move and feed the ball up to Anson. Anson looking to work her way past a couple of Bulldogs. She's able to turn past Ponce and break towards the goal line and knock the ball out of bounds, but it's going to be a free kick here for Brooklyn College, as we have 30 seconds remaining here in the first half, and a free kick for Brooklyn. And, you know, if you're the Dolphins here, Dave, no careless mistakes in this final 30 seconds.
No, absolutely not. In fact, that was a really nice play by Natalia Sandor to keep that play alive and keep the ball in Brooklyn's half of the field here as the seconds start to roll off the clock here as we have inside of 30 to go.
As now the Dolphins look to turn the ball around, but Furman able to come away and retrieve it now with 20 seconds remaining. Furman's pass up towards midfield is going to be knocked away by LaPointe, as Brooklyn will run up to the midfield line and look to play the ball in quickly with 10 seconds remaining. The ball will roll out of bounds, and Brooklyn will throw it in, but not enough time to do any damage. 45 minutes in the books here in this 12th annual Women's CUNYAC Championship. The Dolphins lead by a score of 1-0. big goal by Caitlin Russo, her second of the year, Dave, the only goal scored in this match.
Yeah, she came on as a substitute, fresh legs, a beautiful, gorgeous pass by Lauren Smith to set it up. That followed a great play by Christina Rodriguez to win the ball off of Jordan Kerwin. It leads to CSI's only goal on one of their really few quality chances of the first half, Mike, but they were able to control possession pretty much while the score was a 0-0 tie. And, Brooklyn started to work up a little bit more pressure towards the final 10-12 minutes of the game. They got their first shot on goal in the 44th minute, so it gives us something to look forward to here in half number 2. Brooklyn will have to continue to push. CSI will have to try and nurse the lead, and if they can get an insurance one, they'll be sitting pretty. If not, it's going to be 45 minutes of Brooklyn trying to get that equalizer.
So we're at halftime here with the College of Staten Island leading by a score of 1-0. Why don't we step aside, take a break here for a few minutes, and then we'll be back and get you ready for the second half. The College of Staten Island leading 1-0. You're watching 2016 Women's CUNYAC Championship Soccer right here on your voice of CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably put the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Don't worry. 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent. We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-One physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back here to Brooklyn College. We are at halftime where the CSI Dolphins have themselves a 2-1 lead over the number 1 seeded Brooklyn College Bulldogs here on their home field. David Pizzuto and Tom Krichkowski here during halftime. Mike Babuski will rejoin the broadcast in just a few moments. And Tom, may as well look at the halftime stats. Obviously, the CSI Dolphins have the lead on the scoreboard and have the lead statistically in the shot category and obviously in the on-goals category. But that's nothing new here in this series. During the regular season, the Dolphins had an 18-2 advantage in the shot count. Right here at halftime, it's 8-2 in favor of CSI.
Yeah, as you just said, they had a shot advantage in the first game. That continues to show on today's championship game. Also, in the first meeting, there was CSI held the lead in corner kicks 5-1. They've only had one apiece so far. Another thing, when the Dolphins lead 1-0, they've only lost one goal this season. That came to FDU, where they scored early on, and then FDU scored 2 goals after that. But anytime the Dolphins have scored first this season, they've won the game.
Yeah, so that's a good point. And, of course, one of the reasons why they're able to hold on is because of that back line. Now, Tom, we started to see a couple of, chinks in the armor there towards the end where Brooklyn, started to get some momentum, started to put some pressure. And really there was almost a mistake there with the Dolphins' defensive line where Aparicio skied a ball and Mignon had to double back and make the save. But Mignon has been solid. But at the same time, Brooklyn, we started to see the last 10 minutes or so of that first half really started to turn the corner offensively.
Yeah, what they did is they really started to use Jasmine more as a midfielder as opposed to her being the sweeper in the back line. When that happens, though, the Dolphins have to recognize it and realize they need to go on a counterattack because without her back there, that Brooklyn back line is very susceptible to allowing goals.
Yeah, and speaking of the Brooklyn back line, Mike, Jasmine Furman played almost exclusively on the back line in that first half. You have to think with her playmaking ability in this second half at some point, they're going to have to turn her loose more in the midfield and up front.
Yeah, and they started pushing her up a bit at the end of that first half anyway, Dave. And, she got that shot on goal toward the end of the first half. And, she definitely has playmaking ability. She's, of course, a 4-year starter here and, certainly has a lot of ability. So, you could certainly look for her to push up here. But, again, Dave, with 45 minutes remaining here in the second half, still plenty of time. No reason for Brooklyn to rush. And, they're an experienced team that's not going to panic here in the second half.
And at least in the first 45 minutes of this one, no real big surprises. It kind of has gone the way we thought it would. CSI controlling the tempo, controlling possession, picking and choosing their spots at when to attack, trying to get the open looks and shoot when they can. Brooklyn, more opportunistic, more counterattacking style. The first 45 went pretty much the way we thought it would, except CSI has that all-important first goal, and one goal has won the game in each of the last 5 meetings that these teams have played. So now in the second 45, Tom, I'll turn it to you over first. What does CSI have to do to close this one out and lift the trophy once more?
The Dolphins need to just keep doing what they're doing. Their forwards are really putting pressure on their back line. They're not allowing the defenders to just get the ball and have time and play it wherever. Christina Rodriguez, Krista Hansen, and Jennifer Extenso, when she's in the game, are all putting pressure. They're not just allowing the ball to pass around. Whereas, conversely, when the Dolphins back line gets the ball, they have all the time in the world. There's no pressure on them, so they're allowed to send the through balls and find their midfielders to play the ball.
And Mike, as far as the first 45, what do you think the Dolphins did well in that half that they need to sustain in the second in order to come away with the championship again?
Well, they really did a good job for probably the first 38 minutes or so, Dave, of that first half of really keeping the ball almost exclusively on their side of the offensive field and really preventing Brooklyn College from getting any shots on goal. But, as we mentioned a little bit here at halftime, a really nice job by Brooklyn College. They're starting to edge up. You can see that they're starting to put a little bit more pressure on the CSI Dolphin defensive team, and that they're going to be looking to get the equalizer here in the second half.
All right, so we have about 3 minutes to go before we get our second half underway. Guys, why don't we step aside, take another break. When we come back, we will have the second half kickoff. Mike Babuski will take over play-by-play duties, and we'll get the final 45 here live from Brooklyn College. We come back, second half action. Stay with us live on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-one physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
Most party fouls? Not a big deal. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
We're back, and we're just moments away from the start of the second half. The College of Staten Island, behind Caitlin Russo's second goal of the year, have a 1-0 lead as they look to win back-to-back CUNYAC championships right here at Brooklyn College. Brooklyn College still right in the game, trailing only by a score 1-0. And, Tom, we talked a little bit about it during halftime, but Brooklyn College doing a little bit better job offensively here in the last few minutes of the first half.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how they use Jasmine Furman in this half. Towards the end of the first half, we really saw her really starting to push forward, using her speed to just dribble by Dolphin defenders. And you saw she created that chance at the end of the game, end of the first half, where she just put right over the bar. So we'll see what she can do in the second half.
And, Dave, it was a couple-of-year drought for the Dolphins, but they were finally able to break through and win a CUNYAC championship last year, looking to do it now for the second year in a row.
Yeah, absolutely, and that would be really huge considering how many freshmen, first-year players not only play for the Dolphins but start for the Dolphins. Remember, CSI has such a long history of success in women's soccer, but for many of these players in the team, this is their first taste of it.
So it's going to be Brooklyn College here back on the defensive side of the field as the Dolphins look to attack forward here to start the second half, as Brooklyn College will be going from left to right here in the second half. The Dolphins will go from right to left as Perello steps forward to knock the ball in towards Garreau, and it's going to be headed forward, and the ball's going to be played in midfield right now. And, Tom, it'll be interesting to see what kind of style the Dolphins play here in the second half.
Yeah, the Dolphins really started to possess the ball more towards the end of the first half and try and just tire out the Brooklyn back line. Now it looks like in the start of the second half here, they're still trying to find that through ball and really play it through, and you see the second offside of the game.
So Furman, a nice ball, getting it over to Ramirez. Ramirez, a nice play by the freshman Sanchez to knock it away, but she can't clear it as Calandra comes forward to play it for Brooklyn. And you can see immediately here, Dave, Brooklyn looking to push up a little bit in the opening minutes of the second half.
Well, the first thing I see is they only have 3 on that back line now, Mike, to start the second half. Brooklyn does. They've lent, Jordan Kerwin came way up on that last rush up the field. So it seems pretty clear what Brooklyn College needs to do in this second half, and that is get the equalizer first and then build on that.
Rodriguez trying to play the ball down the far sideline for the Dolphins. And, although she was double-teamed on that play, Tom, Brooklyn still knocks it out of bounds and gives the Dolphins the throw-in.
Yeah, towards the end of the first half, we saw that Krista Anson used her long throw-in as a corner kick. Now with her out of the game, the Dolphins opt to go short and play cross in with Lauren Smith.
Now the Dolphins play the ball in towards goal. Furman heads it back out over toward the sidelines where Brooklyn College tries to play the ball away once again, but a nice play by the Dolphins to keep the ball in and work their way into a corner kick. So a beautiful play that time by the Dolphins. It really looked like a play that wasn't going anywhere, and now the Dolphins end up with a corner.
Yeah, this is another built-in goal-scoring opportunity, and Dolphins scored their first goal of the game second goal of the game against Lehman via the corner kick. So here's something to watch.
Perello, a nice corner into the center of the field. Furman there to knock the ball away, but she's unable to get the ball clear. And now Brooklyn able to get it up to the top of the 18. LaPointe's going to kind of punch that one towards goal, but Rodriguez will make the play for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Rodriguez kind of attacked it like a shortstop would on a ground ball, and LaPointe just did well to kind of take that scramble and put it back on goal.
Perello with the ball. Perello swinging the ball up the far sideline. It's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in here for the Dolphins. We've gone just over 3 minutes here into the second half, and the Dolphins with the 1-0 lead. Dolphins throw the ball out of bounds, so now it'll be an opportunity for Brooklyn to throw the ball in. LaPointe able to come away with the throw-in, but she can't play it away, and now the ball's going to go out of bounds once again. So both teams kind of working the sidelines here, Dave, over the last minute or so.
Yeah, especially here on the far sideline as Rodriguez tries to shed her defender.
Ball's going to be played out now to Sanchez. She's kind of clipped down on the play. Is a little bit of physicality here to start the second half. Free kick coming up for the Dolphins. Smith will take it. It does appear for the Dolphins. As it looks like she's going to try to probably play that one into the center of the box. She does as the ball's able to bounce onto the foot of Sanchez, but she's not able to hit it on the volley, and the ball will go out of bounds, and it'll be a free kick now for the Dolphins.
Yeah, that was a well-placed ball there by Lauren Smith, right over the top of the Brooklyn back line, and seemingly through to Sanchez. She was just miskicked it out for a goal kick.
So it's going to be Furman taking the free kick now as she plays the ball right into the midfield circle, where Lynch comes away with it for Brooklyn, but she's unable to maintain possession. And now Perillo will knock the ball out of bounds out over the far sideline.
Narasha Lynch for Brooklyn, who did not start in the second half, starts here. Did not start in the first half, starts here in the second for Brooklyn.
Brooklyn passing the ball back, losing possession now as Rodriguez is going to roll it down the far sideline, but once again, no Dolphin player there, and once again, it will be a throw-in for Brooklyn.
It almost doesn't matter, though, Mike, because every time Rodriguez touches the ball, you immediately see 3 white shirts converging on her, and that's the kind of attention that Christina Rodriguez is drawing, and when Brooklyn College is doing that, they can't concentrate on going up the field.
As the Dolphins try to get that ball inside to Rodriguez, a nice pass by Cosenza, but the ball gets knocked away, and now we're going to have a foul called on the Dolphins.
Yeah, Brooklyn's going to need a goal here, early in this half. However, they've scored just 9 of their 25 goals in the second half of the game in their games this season. So as the game goes on, they actually trend downward instead of going upward.
Furman looking to play it forward, but it's going to be headed away by LaPointe. Both teams fighting away for possession of the ball, and now it's going to be played there by Cabral. Cabral's pass is going to be knocked away by Perillo, and Perillo will swing the ball down the far sideline where it will roll and be played there by Furman. Furman playing it forward, but the back pass is going to be knocked away as both teams fighting for possession. And once again, it will be a throw-in for the Dolphins 6 minutes into this second half.
Yeah, that stat I gave you just a few moments ago about Brooklyn trending downward towards a goal. The Dolphins, out of their 53 goals this season, have scored 24 in the second half. So they stay even throughout the halves, throughout the game.
It's the same thing defensively, too, Tom. Of the 13 they've given up, I think 7 are in the second half and 6 are in the first half. So Dolphins are stingy equally in each half.
So it'll be the Dolphins to throw the ball in now as Smith with the ball. Smith is going to turn and wheel that one toward the near post, but nobody there. As coming over to play the ball will be Calandra, and she will knock the ball out of bounds, and the Dolphins will look to throw the ball in quickly. Sanchez getting the ball to Rodriguez. Rodriguez turns, and that ball is going to be knocked off the head of a Brooklyn College player. And for one of the rare times this afternoon, Dave, we're going to have a stoppage in play.
Yeah, and any time a player gets hit in the head, even with whether it's the ball or with the piece of the body, the clock will get stopped, and there'll be a protocol in place to attend to the player. I thought the Dolphins actually got away with an illegal throw on that throw-in, Mike. It looked like it kind of fumbled out of Sanchez's hands, and the Dolphins were able to continue play and get a corner out of that. That's something to look at here. If the Dolphins get themselves a big opportunity, they might have been gifted one because I thought CSI was guilty of a throw-in violation.
So it's going to be Kira Flynn, the shaken-up Bulldog, as she's going to come to the sideline here. 38 minutes, 17 seconds remaining here. Championship Saturday at Brooklyn College. The College of Staten Island off the corner kick now as the ball comes back.
Play is not whistled in, Mike. Play is still the injured player on the field. The officials at midfield, and Dolphins just took it upon themselves to restart play with the clock still stopped at 38-16. So got to wait for the ball to get put back in play. And for Brooklyn, they need to get a player on the field unless they want to play down by one player, and they will bring in a substitution.
Yeah, it looks like for Brooklyn College, it's going to be number 15. Jennifer Benitez will check into the game as Perillo will take the corner kick as soon as the official puts the ball back into play.
And she is listed as a forward, sophomore on the team.
Here comes Perillo, a low corner this time, and it's going to be knocked away back to Perillo. Perillo now chipping it toward the far post, and it goes to go off the crossbar. Now back in front, and now Rodriguez is going to be there to make the play. So that just looked like a cross, Dave, that ended up going off the crossbar. Big break that time for Brooklyn College.
Yeah, it's hard to see what her motivations were, but she had a lot of space in front of her, and maybe Perillo was looking top shelf there on the shot.
So Perillo nearly gives the Dolphins a 2-0 lead, and now Rodriguez will pick up the foul for the Dolphins. Furman to take the free kick, a long high ball up the center of the field. Mulligan there to head it forward for the Dolphins onto the foot of Smith. Smith rolling the ball out on the far sideline looking for Sandor. Sandor collides hard with Ponce, but the ball will roll out of bounds, and it will be another throw-in here for the Dolphins. Dolphins throwing it in quickly, looking to get the ball into Rodriguez. It's going to be knocked out of bounds, but Dave, another corner kick for the Dolphins.
Yeah, you see the Dolphins with that quick restart trying to take advantage of not having enough Brooklyn defenders back, and they earned themselves a corner as a result. Nice play by the Dolphins, heads-up play, and I believe it's Cosenza taking it.
Here comes the corner as it angles toward the near post. The ball bouncing out in front. Rodriguez looking to turn. She's unable to do so. Now she puts that one towards goal, but it'll go wide. And that time Rodriguez, the ball bounced in front of her, Dave, but she never really got in a position to put it towards goal.
Yeah, she wasn't able to turn towards goal. Brooklyn not giving her an opportunity to turn around, but still a nice job by Rodriguez to get to the ball after a mad scramble. And again, if you're a Brooklyn College Bulldogs fan, you exhale a sigh of relief there as there's another dangerous ball that was able to bounce a couple of times in your own goal box.
Rodriguez, a beautiful feed looking for Cosenza. Cosenza turns and shoots and blasts it just wide. Another big opportunity there, Tom, but that shot goes just wide.
Yeah, there's that connection of Rodriguez and Cosenza right there. And Cosenza came from out wide and Rodriguez slotted her right through. That connection has been phenomenal all season and almost connected one more time in this championship game.
Yeah, so Jennifer Cosenza leading the Dolphins in goals this year with 13. Puts that one past the post. And now we're going to have a substitution for Brooklyn College.
Dolphins are actually leading the scoreboard 12-2 in shots.
As that ball's going to roll back toward the Brooklyn College goal, and Ponce is going to take no chances. She'll just knock it out of bounds out over the far sideline, and the Dolphins will throw it in. Cosenza wheeling that one in toward the center of the field. Sanchez tries to play it away. She knocks it out, and Perello is there to play it for the Dolphins, but she cannot hold on to possession. And here comes Brooklyn College. Lynch with a lot of speed down that far sideline. A nice play by Mulligan to slow her down, Dave. It looked like she was about to break through.
Yeah, and, every time Dolphins need a lift defensively, we always mention the name Catherine Mulligan, one of the best defenders in the conference, and she showed why there again, having to make up ground. Dolphins a little bit out of position. Lynch blazing down the field, but Mulligan able to put an end to that.
Cosenza looking to roll the ball forward onto the foot of Rodriguez. Rodriguez breaking through, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on the play. So Christina Rodriguez will pick up the foul, and Brooklyn will take the free kick.
And again, that time Rodriguez with possession is surrounded by 3 Brooklyn College Bulldogs, and she tried to use too much of her arms to get separation and got called for the foul.
So Brooklyn College now with possession of the ball. Bring the ball out onto the near side of the field. Calandra tries to go forward, but LaPointe is there to knock it away. And she's going to feed it out, looking that time for Sanchez. It'll be off Brooklyn, so the Dolphins will throw the ball in as Sanchez tries to get it to Rodriguez, but Gomez will knock it out of bounds. And the Dolphins will throw it in, this time deeper inside Brooklyn territory.
Yeah, Brooklyn really came out in the second half and made it a goal to stop Rodriguez. And they've been shutting her down pretty much this entire second half. When Rodriguez needs to get the ball, she needs to realize that she's being swarmed by 3 Brooklyn defenders. She needs to just lay it off to one of her teammates because someone's bound to be open.
That was a nice play by LaPointe to draw the foul that time, working against a couple of Bulldog defenders, and a big scoring opportunity here, Dave, for the Dolphins.
And like they did last time, the Dolphins are spread out across the top of the goal box. Don't know where Lauren Smith is going to be going with this ball.
Here comes Smith, and she's going to try to put that one towards goal and knocks it just wide out over the crossbar. So good shot opportunity that time, Tom, by Smith, but she knocks it wide.
Great idea there by Lauren Smith. You're only about 22 yards out from goal. Take a chance. And she did just that. Placement was great, just a little bit too much power on it.
So it's going to be a free kick now for Brooklyn College as Smith has an opportunity at the free kick. It goes wide, and Brooklyn College now looks to build up their offense once again. But Smith steals it now for the Dolphins over to Rodriguez. A pass is going to be stolen and knocked away and played by Flynn, who's checked back into the game for the Bulldogs. Sandor out on the far side to Perello. Perello's pass forward is going to be stolen away, and here comes Brooklyn looking to attack with numbers on the far side, but Mulligan steps forward to knock the ball back into the Brooklyn zone. LaPointe getting it to Cosenza, but the flag's going to go up, and Dave, a very rare offside for the Dolphins this afternoon.
Yeah, Dolphins have only been flagged for, I believe that's their 3rd offside of the game, and Again, a little bit eager was Cosenza. Her calling card is her speed. So if she is able to get into a foot race there, you like your chances. But unfortunately, just a little bit ahead of the play.
So Furman will play the ball forward for Brooklyn College. And, Tom, it looks pretty clear that Brooklyn's going to try to stay patient as long as possible and look for a Dolphin mistake.
Yeah, it looks like the Dolphins are actually playing a player down right now as Adriana Perella had to come out of the game.
As it's Sanchez rolling it for Rodriguez. Rodriguez draws a double team, and there to knock the ball away will be Benitez. And the ball's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be a throw-in here for Brooklyn.
Adriana just got waved back on, Tom, by the official, so she's back in, and the Dolphins are back even.
And now Sanchez is going to get called for the handball, so Brooklyn College with another opportunity to play the ball. Furman will take the free kick, as she does most of the time for Brooklyn College, and it's played by LaPointe. A nice play into Smith. Smith tried to play the ball forward. Nice defensive play by Brooklyn, and Kerwin comes away with the ball and feeds it out now to Benitez. Benitez on the near sideline. Gets it over to Calandra. Calandra over to Utsa, but her pass is going to be knocked away that time by DeLoya. And now played out onto the far side of the field, and it's going to be Cabral waiting for it to come down for Brooklyn. Cabral trying to feed it in for Lynch. Lynch breaking in with speed, charging in on Mignon, but a nice play that time by Mignon to make the play.
Yeah, you can see the Dolphins are really starting to unravel a little bit defensively. We have a stoppage in play here.
Looks like CSI player right in the middle of the field. Looks like Stephanie LaPointe may have gotten hit either in the eye or in the nose. She got a ball up in the face.
She did get a ball up in the face.
She certainly doesn't want to come out of the game. She has her back towards the official, and she'll stay in. But obviously, if there was blood, then she would need to come out.
Well, let's see if we can get the clock going again with 30:35 remaining here in the second half. Dolphins holding on to a 1-0 lead. Caitlin Russo, the lone goal scorer in the game this afternoon, off for the assist by Lauren Smith. Calandra to throw the ball in, gets it in, looking to get the ball up over to Ramirez. It goes out of bounds. It'll be another throw in here for Brooklyn College, this time deeper inside Dolphin territory.
Yeah, as I was saying before the injury stoppage there, Mike, you can see the Dolphins are really starting to become a little bit more undisciplined here, and it's giving space to the Brooklyn Bulldogs.
Now Kerwin tries to run forward, but the Dolphins able to knock the ball away down out over the far sideline as we're inside of 29 minutes, 40 seconds remaining here in the second half. The Dolphins with a 1-0 lead in this game as Furman looked like she was going to try to run through, but instead Rodriguez is going to be there to play the ball over to Cosenza. Cosenza. A nice pass up over to Smith. Smith inside, a nice move inside one player as a couple of players collide on that play as Smith and Flynn collided, and the Dolphins able to come away with the ball. Now Sandor. Sandor turning it toward the center, but she shanks that one, and it's going to be played back toward the midfield circle. LaPointe working the ball out over to Sanchez. Sanchez rolling it forward now. LaPointe driving in, trying to keep the ball in bounds, but the pass will be too far ahead and out of bounds. Free kick now for Brooklyn College.
And back in will come Krista Anson, Mike, for the Dolphins. I believe she will replace Cosenza. That usually is the substitution that they make. Remember that in the second half, you are allowed to re-enter one time. So even though Cosenza comes out, she will be able to report back in at some point. And this is all in an attempt to keep fresh legs out there for CSI.
So now the Dolphins, Smith tries to attack forward, but instead Kerwin's going to come away with the ball and play the ball down the near side, and that's going to be a foul or a handball on DeLoya, but either way, a big opportunity here for Brooklyn to put the ball toward the 18, Tom.
And Furman's going to play this ball right over the top.
And she does, as it's a little bit of a defensive mix-up by the Dolphins, but Aparicio stays calm and wings that one off to the side.
And, Mike, almost all of CSI's opponents in this tournament, almost all offensive chances have come off set pieces. We saw that with Lehman on Wednesday. Almost entirely their chances came on set piece. And now we see Brooklyn now 2 or 3 times able to get that ball deep in CSI's territory via the free kick.
Smith, a long ball down the far sideline looking for Sander, just a touch too hard. It will roll out of bounds, and it'll be Brooklyn to throw the ball in as they look to build up a little bit of momentum here in the second half, trailing by a score of 1-0. Smith, another beautiful ball through to Anson. Anson rolling the ball, and it's going to be a nice defensive play that time. I think that was Flynn, Tom, to knock it away. Dolphins will get a corner kick, but it was looking much more dangerous.
Yeah, that was a great play there. The ball through, and Anson had Christina Rodriguez wide open back post, but it was a great defensive play to knock it out of bounds.
So it'll be a corner kick for the Dolphins. It looks like Sandor is going to take it here for the Dolphins.
This is actually the 5th corner for the Dolphins. They now lead the game 5-1.
And they were 1-1 at halftime, so their 4th corner here of the second half.
As Brianna DiStefano in the game for the Dolphins, too, as we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on the Dolphins. So a wasted corner kick opportunity will lead to a free kick now for Brooklyn College. CSI Dolphins looking to repeat their CUNYAC championship, and they were successful against Lehman College in overtime last year, lead in regulation by a score 1-0. And, you know, Dave, after struggling a couple of years in the finals, Dolphins looking to make it 2 in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. Under new coach Giuseppe Panetti, of course, it was his first year last year. Has the Dolphins moving in a very positive direction. You know, it's easy to see the final results with championship, but the fact that CSI has 14 new faces on this team, a lot of freshmen in the starting lineup. I believe they had 7 freshmen in the starting lineup this finals year. So, new team, same kind of results here for the Dolphins.
LaPointe playing that forward to Sandor. It's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in now for Brooklyn College, as the Dolphins will step forward and knock the ball out of bounds once again. Brooklyn trying to throw the ball, getting it into Lynch, and Lynch has played well since checking into the game for Brooklyn College. She's really shown a lot of speed, as that one she'll just knock out of bounds, and this time it'll be a free kick here for the Dolphins.
Yeah, one thing we said in the halftime show is that we expected Jasmine Furman to be more as a part of the offensive push going forward. We haven't yet to see that yet this half. The Bulldogs' offense has been doing it all by themselves, and they've started to wear down the Brooklyn's back line.
So Caitlin Russo will check back into the game. Russo, a first-half sub, has scored the only goal here of the afternoon, and have given the Dolphins a 1-0 lead, and she makes a nice play now to get the ball up to LaPointe. LaPointe wheeling it forward towards Smith. 50-50 ball. Ball bounces away, and now Sandor showing a lot of speed on the far side. Sandor over to Anson. Anson getting it back to Sandor in some space. Sandor tried to turn it in front, but she couldn't get much momentum on that one, Dave, as we're going to have a whistle and a hard foul that time, and that'll lead to a free kick for the Dolphins.
Yeah, that time Kansu Usta comes in a little bit late and spills the Dolphins' attacker, and now Brooklyn, with their 8th foul of the game here, will lead to another big opportunity for the Dolphins. And they, too, we've seen Lauren Smith have her try a couple of times. This will be Rodriguez.
So Rodriguez will take the free kick for the Dolphins. She skies that one high toward the near post as Russo tries to keep the ball in. It's going to go out of bounds, and it will be a free kick now for Brooklyn College.
Yeah, the Dolphins must have worked on these set pieces offensively in practice all week, because they've been sending every ball to the back post. They just need to connect on one of them.
Furman playing the ball up towards midfield. Lynch is going to knock it down forward, and the pass is going to be knocked out of bounds, and it'll be another throw-in here for the Dolphins as they try to keep the ball on the Brooklyn side of the field, as we're going to have a whistle.
The clock is going to stop here, as we might, I don't know if we'll see a booking here.
As somebody's going to get booked, I believe, for Brooklyn College. I think it might be number 19, Leslie Gomez there, Tom.
Yep, that's what it will be. Sorry, Tom.
No, as the game has drawn on in the second half, Brooklyn has become increasingly physical, which has just led to that card you just saw there.
So the 4th stoppage here in the second half. as the official booking Gomez, and he'll back up the Brooklyn College player a little bit, blow the whistle, and we'll be back underway here. 23 minutes, 16 seconds remaining here in the second half.
Not sure how many opportunities the Dolphins are going to have here. Needs to cash in on one of these free kicks.
Here comes Rodriguez, a long, high ball in towards goal, and it's off the crossbar for the second time here in the second half.
It was a cheeky attempt there by Christina Rodriguez from about 40 yards out. She decided to go for it, and she hit it off the crossbar. It nearly bounced off the crossbar and went into the goal.
So very nearly a goal for the Dolphins, but once again, off the crossbar. So Brooklyn dodges a bullet there and remains trailing by a score of 1-0.
And now they lead the official shot count 14-2, and only 4 of those on goal, and obviously CSI with the lone goal in the game.
That time, Brooklyn College looking to attack down the far sidelines. A nice defensive play by the Dolphins to break that up and knock the ball away. Brooklyn trying to play the ball up the far sideline. The Dolphins able to knock it back and play it out over towards Rodriguez, and it'll be the Dolphins to throw the ball in as we're past the midway point here in half number 2. Dolphins leading by a score 1-0, and they really have prevented Brooklyn from getting very many opportunities here in the second half.
Yeah, and Brooklyn, started this half pretty strong, pulling together some passes, getting into the CSI zone, disrupting the CSI offense. But again, the last 6-7 minutes of this game have just been total CSI on Brooklyn's side of the field, building up towards perhaps an insurance tally, and Rodriguez has done well with these free kicks the last 2.
So this time she'll take it out on the far side as that ball's going to be played up high toward the near post. Anson breaking in. Rodriguez gets a hand on it, can't hold on to it, and the ball's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be another corner kick for the Dolphins.
Yeah, that one maybe drifted a little bit too much for Rodriguez, but she had 2 Dolphins attackers in the neighborhood. Rodriguez was kind of backpedaling, trying to make a save.
As Russo takes the corner kick, she gets the ball right in front, but it's played away by the Brooklyn defense, and now Russo out on the near side. Russo, a beautiful ball looking for Anson, but Brooklyn there to knock it away. But LaPointe is there to keep it in, and now Kerwin tries to get it out. She can't, and now Furman will just sky the ball down on the far sideline. And Dave, we see in the closing minutes of these games, head coach Giuseppe Panetti bringing in Brianna DiStefano to really play in the back and play defensive midfield for the Dolphins.
Yeah, she's in there now, and I think she came in for Perello when Perello was banged up in the early part of the second half. But so that's an increased presence for her and a big spot because Perello has played well in this postseason for the Dolphins, and now it's DiStefano to hold things down there in the right back position.
So it's going to be a free kick coming up once again here for the Bulldogs as they play the ball into the center of the field. And LaPointe is able to play it now to Anson. Anson breaking it through to Rodriguez. Rodriguez's shot and a beautiful save by Rodriguez. She got just enough of it, Tom, to get a hand on it and knock it past the far post. It looked like the Dolphins were going to go up 2-0, but instead Samantha Rodriguez keeps the Bulldogs right in the game.
That was a golden opportunity there for Christina Rodriguez. She may have taken that shot with her head down, because if she had picked her head up, she could have saw that. She could have tapped it in either side and put her team up 2-0.
Here comes the corner kick as the ball is bouncing onto the foot of a Dolphin. The Dolphins play it away, and the Bulldogs do, I should say, and now LaPointe feeding it out. Beautiful cross. It's going to be off the hands of Rodriguez and into the net. And the College of Staten Island is going to take a 2-0 lead. I believe that was Natalia Sandor who just skied that one towards the net. And it went off the hands of Rodriguez and into the goal. And the College of Staten Island has opened up a commanding 2-0 lead.
Yeah, Sandor got that ball, picked her head up, and saw that Rodriguez was off her line. So she laced one right over the head into the far post, doubled up for the Dolphins here in this championship game.
So a big goal there for the Dolphins. They really what they were looking for. Brooklyn was trying to press up. The Dolphins did a good job frustrating them defensively and were able to take advantage of an opportunity after hitting a couple of crossbars.
Yeah, you know what? That's just a great, build up towards that goal. You got to remember Christina Rodriguez probably should have made the score 2-0 a few moments earlier than that. The Dolphins had a couple of opportunities from in close, and the ball skips over to Sandor. And, it's really not much Samantha Rodriguez could have done. She was outstretched. She was backpedaling. And it's Natalia Sandor who rainbows one into the goal. And, she's had a terrific postseason as well. She played extremely well against Lehman. And, now she adds the insurance tally for the Dolphins. And the way CSI has played defense here in this one, Mike, it's going to be a long uphill battle here these final 19 minutes for Brooklyn.
So Sandor picks up her 4th goal of the year, Dave. And, Coach Panetti has really given her a lot of increased responsibilities. Tom moved her into the starting lineup, and she's really been a force for the Dolphins here in this 2016 postseason.
Absolutely. She's played extremely well out on the flank for the Dolphins. She's really, in the first half, she was in a battle, really not getting a chance to do much. Now with the Bulldogs getting tired and having to push forward more, she found her opportunity and cashed in.
So a big goal there for the Dolphins, and one they were really looking for. And, it's been a while, Dave, since they got 2 on this Brooklyn College team here in 2016, but a big goal there for the Dolphins.
No, a huge insurance tally now. And, now what you can do, Mike, if you're Giuseppe Panetti, is, you could throw 10 players back there on the back line if you're the Dolphins. Right now, the onus is completely on Brooklyn to get themselves back in this game. If you're CSI right now, you dump everybody back. You play defensive soccer. It's not the kind of soccer that Giuseppe likes to play. He likes to be the attacking team, and he doesn't like the ball on the other team's feet. But right now, you can afford to just play the counterattack game.
As Anson looking to break down the far sideline, as she looks to step inside Furman, she does. She tries to roll it in front to a wide-open Russo, but couldn't get enough on the ball, and the ball is going to roll out of bounds, and it's going to be a throw-in here for the Dolphins deep inside Brooklyn College territory. And, David, you get into these championship games and you never know who the heroes are going to be and the goal scorers. But, one of the features of this Dolphin team is that shot's going to go up over the crossbar all year long. It's been the deepness and the versatility of this team. And you see it here today as Sandor picks up a 4th, Russo picks up a 2nd. They're the 2 goal scorers that put the Dolphins out in front.
Yeah, amazing. And when you come into this game, you circle certain members of the team and you say, well, you got to keep your eye on Rodriguez. You got to keep your eye on Cosenza. Stephanie Lapointe is always a threat. Lauren Smith on free kicks. Who would have circled Caitlin Russo's name? Who would have circled Natalia Sandor's name? But that's just the makeup of this Dolphins team. Christina Rodriguez, with all the attention she gets from defenses, she opens up the field for other players. And that time, again, when players like Caitlin Russo come into the fold and Natalia Sandor get an attempt on goal, the most important aspect is finishing, and that's what both of them have done. And the Dolphins have a big 2-0 lead.
And, Tom, the Dolphins continued to put pressure on Rodriguez. Christina Rodriguez took that long shot that went off the crossbar, was the second shot of the half of the Dolphins that went off the crossbar. And, that time Rodriguez made just a little bit of a mistake. Is now Brooklyn looking to break in with the ball. That time as Utsa had an opportunity, but once again, that Dolphin defense able to knock it away. But, again, very good play by the Dolphins.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would actually oppose Dave's statement earlier of the Dolphins sitting back and playing defense now. 2-0 is actually the hardest lead to hold within a soccer game because your team gets complacent. You're saying, oh, we're up 2-0. We can allow 1. And after a few moments, next thing you know, you're tied 2-2. So I would actually keep pushing forward, score that 3rd goal, and then drop into a 4-5-1 formation. A 4-5-1 formation instead of playing the 4-4-2 they're playing now.
Anson trying to play that ball forward. Furman there to knock the ball away and play it out over the far sideline. Both teams fighting for that automatic NCAA bid. And, Dave, the Dolphins got a little bit of a taste of that last year and, looking for to do a little bit better in this year's tournament. Still have 15 more minutes to go, however.
Yeah, you know what? And the Dolphins really, treated this whole entire 2016 season as one where they wanted to elevate their game, and obviously it's hard to do that when you have so many freshmen in the lineup. But, we saw the way head coach Giuseppe Panetti formed his schedule, putting some of the NJAC powers on the schedule, getting outside the region and trying to play some teams down in Vermont to start their season. And, it's all in an attempt to help them win this tournament and then really have them thinking about bigger things as well. And, obviously if the Dolphins are able to hold on here for these final 15 minutes and change, we'll find out what that draw is on Monday, and we'll see if the Dolphins can represent the CUNY in the national stage.
So we head down under 15 minutes remaining here in the second half. The Dolphins leading by a score of 2-0. And, Tom, you could really feel a little bit of the energy taken out of this Brooklyn College crowd.
Yeah, they were a little bit rowdy in the first half, but after the Dolphins took control of this game, they kind of quieted down, like you just said. Also, that was just the 7th corner kick of this half for the Dolphins.
As Lynch is going to knock that ball out of bounds, and it will be a throw-in, but first we will have a substitution here.
Mike, while we have a moment, we'll take a look at Sandor's goal here via the replay. And it's as it develops, Sandor knocks it in, and, of course, then the team gets to mob her as well. But there's the kick, and there it is heading into the net. So a big goal by Natalia Sandor gets CSI back up.
Yeah, and Sandor really adding so much versatility to this Dolphin attack. She's a force out on the wing, and now has picked up her 4th goal of the year. As the ball is fed into Rodriguez, she tries to get the ball towards goal, but a nice defensive play that time to knock the ball away by the Brooklyn defense. And once again, it'll be another corner kick here for the Dolphins. And Dave, no reason to be in a hurry. Just play deliberately and try to get an opportunity here at the goal.
Yeah, and really the Dolphins have had so many chances here from this particular corner here in the second half.
As that's going to be a high corner towards the near post. Russo is there. It's going to be headed off the line, and the ball's going to be knocked around, but it's going to go in the net. But the official is going to wave it off. I'm not sure why, Dave, but he did blow the whistle immediately.
Yeah, it looked like Rodriguez might have banged into her own player, and that's what caused the fumble, but there was some jockeying around for positioning. It might have been called on Rodriguez. The Dolphins were able to stuff it home, but obviously not to be there as the foul occurred before the shot.
Yeah, so a little bit of contact, and the officials generally going to lean the way of the defense in that kind of sequence, and the Dolphins called for a foul, so they still lead by a score of 2-0 now inside of 13 minutes remaining in the second half, and here comes Brooklyn looking to attack. Ball's going to be played on the near side. A nice play by Aparicio to knock the ball over to DeLoyer. And, Dave, while we have a minute, we should take a minute and talk about Aparicio and DeLoyer, 2 freshman players that have just totally transformed the way the Dolphins are able to play in the back defensively.
Yeah, and the bottom line is, they haven't missed much at all as far as time is concerned. They rarely come out of games. They play from start to finish, and again, they're very unheralded because you won't see their name much in box scores. They don't take shots. I know DeLoyer has a goal this season, but they're just not one to lend themselves a lot to the attack. But really, they've done so well here in their freshman campaign.
So now Brooklyn trying to attack forward as the ball's going to be knocked out of bounds, and Kerwin will come forward to throw it in for Brooklyn College. Nice throw in towards the top of the penalty area. It's Utsa with the ball, and Utsa scored the 1 goal for Brooklyn College in the regular season. And now Rodriguez is going to chip it to Cosenza. Cosenza looking to break in against Gomez. Gomez, a nice job to shield her away and get the ball out over to Rodriguez, who'll fan the ball out over toward the far sideline. And it will be a corner kick now for the Dolphins, as the Dolphins will substitute. As that time, Cosenza tried to go 1-on-1 against Gomez. Nice play by Gomez, Tom, to knock the ball away.
Yeah, Cosenza actually almost beat her out to get to the ball, and had she done that, Rodriguez was severely out of place as she was expecting to pass outside the goal. If Cosenza got that ball, she would have had an easy tap-in for the Dolphins' 3rd goal of the game.
Big corner kick into the center of the field, knocked away by Furman. Played there by LaPointe. LaPointe turns and shoots, and Rodriguez makes the play on a bounce and holds on against the hard-charging Christina Rodriguez. Now it's Christina Rodriguez, and we're going to have a whistle and an offsides called on the play. Brooklyn looking to work their way back. Still time remaining, 10 minutes, 40 seconds. Brooklyn trailing by a score of 2-0, but Dave, the Dolphins have done a good job really preventing hardly any Brooklyn chances at all.
Yeah, and they've kept their foot on the gas. As Tom mentioned before, they're strictly looking for that counterattack, allowing Brooklyn to kind of come in a little bit and then go the other way, looking for that back-breaking third goal.
LaPointe lobbing the ball high up over the outside shoulder of Rodriguez, who makes a nice play to keep it in bounds and battles against Furman once again, as that ball's going to be knocked out of bounds, but this time it will be a free kick for Brooklyn College.
Mike, we see the graphic on the screen. During the regular season contest, CSI outshot Brooklyn 18-2, and today they are outshooting Brooklyn 18-2 once more. So a mirror image there, except the Dolphins like what they see on the scoreboard that counts. The Dolphins here up by a 2 spot, and of course the regular season meeting won by Brooklyn 1-0.
So it's going to be Brooklyn College looking to bring the ball across the midfield, and it's going to roll out of bounds. So it'll be a throw-in here for Brooklyn College with 9 minutes and 35 seconds remaining here in the second half. Lynch working with the ball on the far sideline. And, you know, David, Lynch gave the Dolphins a little bit of problems with a couple of runs early in the second half, but the Dolphins really, like most of the Brooklyn attack, have really slowed her down.
Yeah, and this one's put in the box here. Mignon once again has very good positions, able to come over and converge on that would-be pass inside the box. But what I was going to say before, Mike, is that, you know, if you remember, Adriana Perello was the starter in that right back position. She had to come off due to injury, and Di Stefano's been there. And Brooklyn has really chose to attack that side of the field a lot more than the offense's right side, the defense's left.
Rodriguez gets it to Cosenza. Cosenza looking to break in that time against Furman, but Furman able to tap the ball back to Rodriguez, and Samantha will punt it away now for Brooklyn College.
Yeah, the Dolphins almost actually had a free goal there, a little fumble there by Rodriguez.
Ball's going to be rolled forward now, and Rodriguez will come off a line to play it with 8 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the second half. 1 goal in the first half, 1 goal in the second half. Dolphins leading by a score of 2-0. Sanchez fighting for position. There's going to be a whistle and a foul called against Brooklyn College, so it'll be another free kick coming up here for the Dolphins. And Aparicio will take the free kick. Aparicio winding the ball in toward the center of the field. It's going to be knocked away but not out, as Smith will play the ball back to LaPointe, and LaPointe will just sky the ball down the far sideline. Sandor fighting for position. It's going to be knocked out of bounds, that time by Cabral, but once again, actually, it's going to be a throw-in for Brooklyn.
Yeah, Stephanie LaPointe just tried to play that ball to Sandor to the flag, and just, you know, a little mishit, sent it up into the sky instead of a direct ball.
So now it's going to be Brooklyn College to knock the ball out of bounds. And, you know, Dave, the way the Dolphins have been playing defensively, they have just really completely shut down this Brooklyn College attack. You know, Brooklyn's not even really able to get the ball into the penalty area with, you know, with any kind of playmaking action.
You know, I thought towards the end of the first half they started to build a little bit better offensively because they were working the short passing game up the field, north and south. Back in the second half, they've kind of resorted back to this, the long balls, trying to get them over the CSI defense. And, you know, CSI just isn't having that sort of offensive game for Brooklyn. So when Brooklyn's had success, here's a breakaway, Mike.
Here we go as the ball is going to be played in, and it's Cosenza's shot, and Rodriguez is there to make the save. Cosenza able to put it back. That shot's going to be knocked away. So a couple opportunities there for Cosenza. Now it's Cosenza in the box again. The ball's going to be rolled towards the net, but Brooklyn able to knock it away. So a couple of big opportunities there, Tom, for the senior.
Yeah, Jasmine is the real hero there. She saw that her goalkeeper's beat, and Cosenza had a wide-open shot, and she was on that goal line and just knocked it away. But really, Cosenza really should have scored that opportunity.
As we're going to have a whistle and a yellow card for LaPointe. I'm not really sure what that yellow card was about, but the official calls it pretty emphatically on that play, Tom.
Yeah, that must have happened. She must have either said something or it must have been a late tackle off to the side because that was out of our view.
So now Brooklyn College looking to press forward. It's starting to get late now, 6:10 remaining in the second half.
Yeah, Brooklyn is really sending numbers forward now. If you look at your screen, you can see that only Jasmine is back, whereas as the game started, they had 4 in the back, and now they've continued to just push one more up each time.
You know, Dave, the Dolphins started off really on that tremendous streak of just not allowing any opponents to score goals, and they've really stayed in that defensive mode here the entire year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only goal that they've given up against a CUNY opponent was that game against Brooklyn, which was right here in the 85th minute, that late goal which decided that game. But otherwise, they've played shutdown defense, you know, just about all season long against CUNY competition. And, you know, for what it's worth, Brooklyn has not had a shot in this second half at all. They came into halftime with 2 shots. They remain with 2. The Dolphins have just done a superb job of keeping Brooklyn just away from the final 18.
Yeah, and you know, Tom, you just get the feeling that when the Dolphins get that first goal, and especially when they get a second, they really have started to mature a little bit defensively. And, you know, that's a lot considering they have a freshman keeper and plenty of other freshman players that are on the pitch.
Absolutely. And, you know, the back line is normally stout all game, but they just continue to get better as the game goes on, as does the midfield line in front of them. They really limit the chances that opposing teams have to get a crack at the defensive line.
So Brooklyn College looking to throw the ball in. Is time getting very late here. And the Dolphins leading by a score of 2-0. Brooklyn needing to get on the board. Here's a long shot towards goal, and Mignon forced to come out and make a play and hold on to it. So that time Brooklyn finally got the ball towards goal, Dave, but Mignon sure-handed as she's been most of the year.
Yeah, she hasn't had to work a tremendous amount in the second half, but it's good to see her still sharp, still knowing when to come out of the box to attack balls and intercept would-be scoring chances. As the clock will stop now, Mike, with CSI looking to make a substitution inside of 5 minutes. Anson uses up her 1 re-entry, and Cosenza is done for the day. And the senior comes out of the game here with 4:12 remaining.
Sanchez, who's gone into the starting role here at the end of the season for the Dolphins, throws the ball in as Rodriguez kind of gets pulled down on the play. Nothing called, and it will be a throw-in now for Brooklyn College. Clock really becoming a factor now here, Dave. Just 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, you know, the one good thing about this game, too, for CSI is that they've kept the Brooklyn crowd completely at bay and out of the game. And, you know, they're trying to will their team back. We've seen the crowd come up and try, but
yeah, so now the Dolphins looking to attack once again as they're looking for more here with 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, and now Brooklyn able to play the ball up the far sideline. Kerwin with the ball, rolling it out the far sideline, and now Brooklyn will sky the ball up in the air and look to put some pressure on this Dolphin defense as Aparicio smartly just plays that one out over to the sideline. Brooklyn playing the ball back down in midfield now as it's going to be Benitez. Benitez trying to turn. She gets it into Kerwin into the center of the field, and now it's Smith to play the ball away for the Dolphins. Smith playing the ball out over the far sideline, and the ball will go out of bounds.
Yeah, the Bulldogs are in full-on panic mode now. You could see them abandoning their tactics that their coach had set out for them during the game, and now they're just kicking the ball forward, hoping to get a chance.
And this is a CSI Dolphin team here that have won, that have put themselves in a position to win this CUNYAC championship. Tom, for this CSI Dolphin team, this is their 18th game. They've only allowed 13 goals, and those kind of numbers lead to a lot of success.
Absolutely, and that's why they have the record they do this season, and that back line is only going to continue to get better as they're mostly comprised of freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah, and you know, Dave, the Dolphins have done such a good job here in the second half that even when Brooklyn became desperate and really needed to push forward, the Dolphins just would never permit it to happen.
Yeah, you know, defense first is what this team preaches. And again, if they're able to sneak in a goal or two, that always helps. But this team's bread and butter is their ability to play defense, and it's what's going to win them this game today again.
Yeah, so 1:40 remaining in the game as Calandra will come in to throw it as Sanchez will knock the ball out of bounds. And, you know, Sanchez, Sandor, Tom, just another couple of those freshman plays that the Dolphins continue to insert in the lineup and continue to get great results.
Yeah, their play on the flanks have really made defenses stay true. And, you know, when you see a freshman going against you, you're like, you think, oh, I have the advantage. Well, these freshmen are extremely good, and you can't take them for granted.
Then, for Brooklyn College, a bittersweet moment here, Dave, leading 2-0. A couple of great plays for Brooklyn could be playing their last games.
Yeah, 9 seniors overall for Brooklyn. So this is a team that their off season is going to be, very telling on which direction they go in as CSI looks for another chance as Stephanie LaPointe spills one wide. But, yeah, Brooklyn, this is a program that's had a lot of success, couple of CUNY championships. They fell in the semis last year and a trip to the finals this year. So, we'll see what direction they go in here as they graduate 9.
Smith playing the ball in forward. Rodriguez looking for one final chance. Furman there to knock it away. And the hard shot towards goal as Lauren Smith steps forward and knocks one. A nice save by Rodriguez to knock that away. So the Dolphins will get a corner kick, and all that's remaining here is the final score. And let's see if the Dolphins even rush this one in here with 11 seconds remaining.
10, 9, 8.
So the Dolphins will take the corner. They sky this one up high towards the far post. It'll roll past the post, and that's going to do it for the second consecutive year and for the 7th time in their history. The College of Staten Island will win the CUNYAC Women's Championship by a final score of 2-0 as the Dolphins just had too much offense, too much defense. Brooklyn College couldn't find the answers, Dave, and the Dolphins win their 7th championship and their 2nd in a row.
You know what, Mike? They were dominating from start to finish, and it all started with their defensive backfield. They would not allow Brooklyn to really set up. Whatever possession that Brooklyn had was kind of reserved right for the midfield line. They couldn't piece together, 2 or 3 passes in a row in Dolphins' end. And you know what? It took a spectacular play by Christina Rodriguez to feed the ball to Lauren Smith, to get a great pass into Russo, and for Russo to finish. And then that beautiful bending ball that hit the twine for Natalia Sandor was really just an insurance marker. But the Dolphins only needed one today, Mike. Brooklyn just wasn't getting close. And if they were going to score a goal, it was going to be on a mistake, you would think, for CSI. A well-earned championship for the Dolphins. They were efficient from the first second to the final one, and they truly earned this one. 12-4-2 on the season. They make a really good representative of the CUNY Athletic Conference Championship winner, and they'll wait till Monday afternoon to figure out where they're going to be going, but they're going back to the national championship. Congratulations to head coach Giuseppe Panetti and his unit, laden with underclassmen, and the Dolphins are champions once more.
Yeah, and one of the things you really have to like about this team, Dave, it's a very versatile team. There's a lot of interchangeable parts on this team. They don't count on any 1 or 2 players, and then again defensively they're so strong. And you just look at this Dolphin lineup, Dave, and you start a goal with Nicole Mignon, and you work your way forward through the defense and the midfield and the forwards, and just a lot of quality players, a lot of interchangeable parts, a lot of youth. And the Dolphins were able to take advantage of all 3 of those things to win another CUNYAC championship.
And I think the most telling thing is, Mike, is that, I think we have an idea of who's going to be our MVP of this one, but it could be any number of Dolphins players. And that just goes to show how effective this team is from top to bottom. As it just goes to show again that it could be any number of players. It could be any number of individuals because they've all played extremely well. And the Dolphins truly have earned this because they've been the best team. And their reserve players. One of them scored the opening goal today in Caitlin Russo, who, by the way, is a junior captain. So imagine having a junior and a captain of the team coming off of the bench to score the game-winning goal. I mean, what speaks more to team than that? And that's what this team is. They're unselfish. They pick one another up. There have been plenty of reasons to get down or to doubt themselves. They never have. They've stayed loose. They've stayed calm. They've stayed collected. And they did a nice job of finishing this game off. And really, Mike, with the exception of a tough 5 or 6 minutes against Lehman College the other night, they were exceptional in this postseason. There's no question about it. They came out and really gave Lehman an opening punch, and they hung on to win. And then against Brooklyn, they really just did not allow Brooklyn to get any sort of build up in this game at all. And we could still be playing till tomorrow. I don't know if Brooklyn scores in this one.
Yeah, and Dave, coming into this season, it looked like it might be a little bit of a transition year for this Dolphins. They lost Samantha Wizakowski. They lost Christy Coangelo in goal. And, you had to be wondering what was in store for the Dolphins. But, they really came out of the box. They started playing so well. They went up into Vermont and, started off the season with that they started off the season with that 0-0 tie, and then went on to beat Johnson State by 5-0, and then came back and picked up a couple of big non-conference wins, one at home, one on the road, then beat Lehman, and really started picking things up from that point forward.
Absolutely, Mike, and we're going to be joined by Caitlin Russo in just a couple of seconds, and I'm sure she's going to be pretty happy here.
Yeah, so the College of Staten Island winning this game by a final score of 2-0, and we're very pleased to be joined by the junior midfielder who scored the first goal here this afternoon, and congratulations on that great goal to get the Dolphins started.
Thank you.
Yeah, Caitlin had a run here from her celebration. Kay, tell us what you saw on the goal.
I don't even know. It just happened so quick. I saw Lauren and I saw the wide open gap, and I just screamed to her to put the through ball, and she did, and it just went. I just took the shot.
Okay, one of the things we've been saying all broadcast long is that defensively you guys have just been so efficient. Brooklyn really just couldn't build up any offense today. You outshot them 21-3 at one point. Tell us a little bit about the game plan coming in, and do you feel like you guys were able to execute it?
Yes, we came in, we were fired up. We were shocked when we lost them the first time this season, and to come in, we wanted to be season champions again because we knew we deserved it. We worked hard all season. We played our butts off, and we really wanted it.
And Caitlin, you mentioned that tough 1-0 loss to Brooklyn in a game that you guys really outplayed Brooklyn College statistically in that one. How did the ladies feel coming into this game this afternoon? Were you still confident despite that tough loss earlier in the year?
Yes, we were still confident. We were even more confident than we were the first time. We knew we deserved that game because we worked hard all game for that, and just happened to have a bad call. And we just came back today, and we knew we deserved it.
Well, Kate, you scored the game-winning goal. Congratulations, second straight championship. We're going to let you enjoy the celebration now with this team. But congratulations once again. You guys deserved it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's Caitlin Russo, the junior player for the Dolphins, Dave, who picked up the first goal of the year for CSI, her second goal of the season, coming off of the bench. And, again, it was the Dolphins' ability to bring players off the bench all season long, and that really turned the tide as both Krista Anson and Caitlin Russo, big games off the bench day for the Dolphins here this afternoon.
Yeah, you know what? It's so good to see, and what's so interesting, Mike, is that obviously Jen Cosenza, tremendous a tremendous player on this team. Shenda Karagosler did not play today, but she too, as a senior, a big player for this team. But Mike, everybody comes back next year. That's what's telling. And many of these players, a huge percentage of these players, they're still 2 and 3 years removed from what should be their best soccer. So it's scary to think what this team could be in future years. And they're going to be going back to the national championship tournament, a great stage, a great area to be in, and a great place to really show off who you are as a conference too. I think the CUNY, more than anybody else, Mike, can be proud of the fact that now they get to send a champion over to the NCAAs that has a legitimate shot at really turning some heads and putting CUNY soccer on the map.
Yeah, and, let's talk about that for a minute, Dave, while we have just a chance. The Dolphins made it into the tournament last year. Suffered a tough loss in a game against Messiah in that CUNYAC tournament. And, like you said, this is a year, Dave, where I think the Dolphins are looking more than to just get a bid and show up, but they're looking to try to get some success and really go for a win here in the tournament.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, they ended up – we have a video interruption. There we go. They ended up getting Messiah last year in the NCAA tournament, and that Messiah was the #1 team in the nation. So you would hope that with a record of 12-4-1, 12-4-2, excuse me, that they should be able to draw or to have a better draw and a better region, and we'll see what the Dolphins can do. But, you know, I think before the Dolphins could even think about winning a game at the national stage, it's about, you know, it's about showing and being able to get a good result there, win or lose.
So as we head down into the start of the men's championship game between Lehman and Hunter College, still a few minutes left here to talk about this Dolphin victory. And, you know, Dave, you look out at the CSI Dolphin team, just a couple of seniors, but so much young talent. We keep talking and talking about it, but the Dolphins' best players seem to be their youngest players here in 2016.
Yeah, absolutely. That's been the story of this season. If there's an underlying theme, it's been the fact that the Dolphins have a young team, and that's what it was all about. And, you know, Giuseppe Panetti, the head coach, who we'll try to have on after they accept their medals, you know, he basically said that the start of our season was all about seeing whether or not we can gel together. And I think it was pretty obvious from the beginning that we were able to gel, and we were able to do some good things in that respect. And then towards midseason, it became more about, well, now that we have a team that's gelling, how do we move forward and how do we build, how do we win some games that people think we shouldn't? And then now at the end of the season, it's let's end it the right way. Let's make sure that we're champions again and we get a chance to extend our season. So, you know, check mark all these goals that the Dolphins have had, and now the final goal, the final thing to be check marked is the ability to now go into nationals and represent well for our school.
Yeah, and you know, Dave, the Dolphins forced to play these championship games on Brooklyn's field, and you know, since Brooklyn has such a good team, they make their way back into the finals once again. But you know, again, you add on to the fact that this CSI Dolphin team, in addition to being so young and having a young goalkeeper in net, able to basically come out onto the road and win this championship on a road game, winning this game by a final score of 2-0. And you know, Dave, it's like we mentioned a little bit during the post game. You just had a feeling that, you know, in spite of Brooklyn's effort, they could just try, and that defense for the Dolphins just too tight. Brooklyn just couldn't find a way to penetrate.
Well, the one thing I said about Brooklyn College coming into the game, and I'll continue to say it, is they're a very smart soccer team, Mike. You know, they play the game very smart. And you know what? It's not like they were careless in this game. It's not like they didn't play smart. They played a pretty decent game against the Dolphins today. You know, their defensive line, you know, stayed in position. They didn't lose position. With the exception of that late breakaway by Cosenza, I thought Brooklyn actually played pretty well and played the way Brooklyn College plays. So you gotta tip your hat to them. You know, they had an exceptional regular season. They worked really hard. And you know what? They just weren't the better team on the field today, Mike. It just CSI just came out. They had a game plan. They peppered Brooklyn's end. They made Samantha Rodriguez move around more than probably she would like to. The Dolphins got so many set pieces in this game. I forgot what the final corner kick count was, Mike, but it was overwhelmingly in favor of the Dolphins. And you know what? The Dolphins got themselves, you know, they stayed patient. They waited for their opportunities, and when they had chances to finish, they did. And that's what counts. That's what wins you games. And here we go. The Dolphins are about to get their championship trophy, and well-earned.
And, you know, Dave, for head coach Giuseppe Panetti, 2 seasons, CUNYAC championships. And, you know, we've been around long enough to know just how difficult winning these championships actually is.
Yeah, you know what, Mike? And I think soccer, more than any other sport, you could be twice as talented as the team that you're playing against. It's so easy for the underdog to win. And that's because games come down to just one bad bounce or one bad call or a free kick, a set piece. You know, we've seen it with the men's soccer team. You know, we can make arguments from now until next Sunday about how much more talented CSI's men's soccer team is and was compared to the rest of the CUNY field. But guess what? It doesn't matter. When you get to these games, it's the little things, and the smarter teams usually end up winning. And as talented as the Dolphins have been in recent years when they've lost this championship, because you can make the argument that they had more talented teams that have lost the championship than this team. But the bottom line is the team that plays best as a team, the team that executes their game plan best is the team that usually ends up holding the trophy, and that's exactly why the Dolphins have done it the last 2 years, not even as the number 1 seed, Mike, as the number 2 seed on both occasions.
Yeah, so, again, the Dolphins able to come out and win this game by a final score of 2-0 as they're able to take advantage of a goal in the first half and a goal in the second half, and able to win by a final here of 2-0. And, Dave, that means that automatic tournament bid that we've been talking about, and, really such a thrill and such a developmental opportunity here for the ladies in 2016.
Yeah, and how important is it to give your freshmen that experience? We see some of these players that are accepting their medals, Baltazar, Anna Karen Angulo is only a sophomore. She did not play. But to get them into that national scene and forget them to kind of, Krista Anson collects hers now, but to get them into that mode where they're going now to play a team that's maybe nationally ranked, to say, wow, this is what national championship soccer is all about. This is where we need to go. And, even for the players who were on the team this year, Mike, that were at that Messiah game last year, including some of the assistant coaches who've been able to explain it to the younger players, that's where we want to be. You see where Messiah was. You see that team that beat us 6-0 at the national championship. That's going to be us in a few years. And this is what it looks like. This is what it sounds like. This is what the stadium looks like, and this is where we want to be. And every day, CSI strides themselves to do that, and now they're going to get a chance to perform on that stage yet again. It's really exciting for the administration, for the coaches, for the student athletes, of course, first and foremost. That's really what this is all about, to get to that stage, and the Dolphins will get to live that dream once more.
And, Dave, you watch this team play throughout the 2016 season, and you can see that continual development. They came home to open the season against Purchase College, and it, was an uninspiring 1-0 win, but you could see them kind of getting their feet wet and getting used to playing a pretty tough non-conference opponent. Then they went out to Old Westbury. Old Westbury started out that game very strongly, but by the second half it was all Dolphins, and they won 2-0 in the game. They dominated by a much further lopsided margin than that. Then a couple of big wins against Lehman and CCNY. And, then they went to Kane, Dave. And, you watch the first couple of minutes and Kane is dominating. But the ladies found a way to settle down and really play Kane evenly throughout the entire 45 minutes. And, that's the thing you've seen with this CSI Dolphin team, that as the competition level improves and the ladies get used to it and see it, they're able to step up their game and match that level of performance.
Yeah, you know what? They've really been able to accommodate their games based on their competition. They've been able to elevate. And you could even tell against some of the better teams, Mike, like Stockton, Kane, and Montclair, that they started those games off pretty rough, but then they kind of got into their rhythm, and they ended up playing very well in all three of those games. So, that just goes to show that the Dolphins just need to be there. They just need that experience, and once they do, they'll start to really match wits with a lot of these teams, and it's going to be a nice ride, and we'll see where the Dolphins stack up nationally, and from there we'll hope for the best, and we'll try and be there if we have an opportunity to go on the road, we will. And follow the action, but either way, Sportsnet will be there somehow, some way to cover it up somehow, and we'll turn our attention to winter sports as well. But the bottom line is, it's nice to see our fall seasons continue, especially when it's at the national championship.
And Dave, we should mention that we just heard Caitlin Russo won the MVP of this 2016 CUNYAC tournament. Hard to argue with it, Dave. She scored the first goal in the championship game that gave the Dolphins a 1-0 lead, a lead that they would never relinquish. But there were probably a lot of different plays you could have picked for that award here.
And it's absolutely a sound pick in my mind, Mike, but my choice would have been Christina Rodriguez. She had 2 goals and an assist against Lehman on Wednesday, and she's not in the stat sheet today, Mike, but she started that first goal. She won the ball against Jordan Kerwin in the middle of the field. And at midfield, she was able to get some way she was able to get a pass to Lauren Smith, and then Lauren Smith got the assist on the goal by Caitlin. But that whole play started with a wonderful play by Christina Rodriguez. She would have been my choice for MVP. But guess what, Mike? It's hard to go wrong with any one of the many. And look at this Look at this paparazzi that has come onto the field for the Dolphins, their parents, their loved ones to take pictures. All a fascinating scene for the Dolphins, and so nice to see the CSI contingent come out and support the way they have.
Yeah, and this is a moment that the players will never forget, but neither will the parents, Dave. For a lot of these parents, these young ladies have been playing since they were 5, 6 years old, and it culminates with a CUNYAC championship for the couple of sophomores on the team, their second championship, and Caitlin Russo, who won the MVP, picks up her second championship, Dave, in 2 years.
Yeah, excellent, and you got to remember that someone like a Caitlin, who's the MVP of this game, she's going to be a senior next year, so she's going to be expected to get this team back to where it is right now. There's only a few of them, but they will continue to lead that excellence throughout, and the Dolphins will look to continue momentum. But let's talk more about this game, as head coach Giuseppe Panetti is going to be joining us here for a few words.
And head coach, congratulations on your second consecutive CUNYAC championship.
Thank you very much, Mike and Dave. You should really thank the ladies. They did all the hard work. They put in the effort. We were just along for the ride.
And, Coach, the team lost a very tough game here a couple of weeks ago by a final score of 1-0 to Brooklyn College in a game that you guys probably outplayed them statistically. How did you guys feel coming into the championship game this afternoon?
The coaching staff and the ladies felt very confident because we did dominate so badly. But that's soccer. You can dominate a game and still lose. So we felt very confident that if we played our style, that the ball this time would go in the net. And when Russo opened up with the first goal, then our strategy of a high-pressured line just came into full effect.
One of the things we were saying, Coach, is that this game could still be going on now, maybe into tomorrow. Brooklyn might not get another quality shot because you guys start with defense first. Your defensive line has been stout all year. Nicole has done a great job in between the pipes. The way your defense has played throughout this season, how confident did that make you coming into this game that you could squeeze out a 1-0, 2-0 win?
That's our style of play, Dave. Get a goal and lock it down. And as the opposition tries to counterattack, because they got to try to score one, it opens up more flank attack for us. And today it came into full fruition that once we got the first goal, we were pounding the net. We knew eventually one more would go in, but our 4 defenders and goalie, Nicole, all they say is get one goal and we'll get the victory. So it's a coach's dream.
And Mike and I spoke about the fact that you have so many players who can come up and be heroes in games like this. And, your opponents come into this game and they circle Christina Rodriguez's name. They circle Jennifer Cosenza's name. Lauren Smith has been a terrific offensive player. You have Stephanie Lapointe, who's thrown herself into the attack. And then you come out of the game and you see a player who comes off the bench, a junior captain like Caitlin Russo gets on the register. And then Natalia Sandor, who I thought had a terrific postseason, she scores the insurance one. This team attacks you from so many different ways.
And that's the blessing of having such a great team like that, is that we're not dependent on 1 or 2 people to keep the scoring going. When they were trying to lock down Cosenza and Christina Rodriguez, it left the flanks open for other people. So we knew that eventually an opening was going to happen, and if we took advantage of it, we knew we could score a goal. And Caitlin Russo, God bless her as a captain, she works hard, she put in the effort, and she really got a beautiful chance and finished it. So we're so happy.
Coach, last year the team made the NCAA tournament for the first time, and, everybody was glad to be there, and you really went against the number 1 team in the country. You didn't get much of a break in the seeding. This year, team goes in with a year of experience in playing in the tournament. What are you looking from the What are you looking for from the ladies in this year's NCAA tournament?
Last year's team accomplished something that had never been done before, to win the tournament and qualify for the NCAAs. I put a challenge to this team in the first day of practice. I said, ladies, you could be the first team to make it to the tournament and win a game. That's our goal. I don't care if it's Messiah, Montclair, I don't care who it is. We want to win one game in the NCAAs and have the growth period going.
Well, you know what, Coach? 12 wins during the regular season. You certainly go in with a head of steam into the Nationals. It's going to be a fun NCAA call on Monday morning. We're looking forward to being on it with you, and want to wish you the best of luck at the National Championship.
Dave and Mike, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for a wonderful time.
And thank you. So that was head coach Giuseppe Panetti in his second season with the Dolphins, already his second championship. Mike, we're almost out of time for our broadcast, but what a nice run here by the Dolphins.
Yeah, it really has been. It's been such an exciting year, such a great year. Really just a great group of ladies on this CSI Dolphin team, and suffered a little bit of adversity in that Brooklyn game. Did not let it get them down. Came out, played a very strong game against a very tough Lehman College team, and then basically came out to play Brooklyn College on their home field. Did what needed to be done, Dave. Played a very strong game defensively. Won by a score of 2-0, and really kind of won going away, Dave, by that 2-0 score.
Absolutely, Mike. Everything that we hoped it would be. Dolphins are champions once again, and it's going to be a fun ride home back to Staten Island. And that's the way we wanted it. And the Dolphin season continues.
So that's going to wrap things up here from the Brooklyn College Soccer Complex. For Tom Kriskowski and Dave Pizzuto, this is Mike Babusky saying so long and thanks for watching. Once again, the College of Staten Island wins their 7th CUNYAC championship and their 2nd in a row as they defeat Brooklyn College by a final score of 2-0. And don't forget to tune in Monday and find out where the College of Staten Island will be going into the Division III tournament. Have a great weekend, everybody.